Give me coffee in the morning, gotta have the coffee. Wake me up, shake me up, dip me like a lassie. One sip, two sips, and I'm feeling so alive. Coffee in the morning, it's the best way to survive. Woke up in the morning, sleepy eyes yawning. Jumped out of bed, started the day, opened the curtains. Felt the cool breeze, the sun shining on my face. But something was missing, I needed my job to chase. Give me coffee in the morning, give me coffee in the morning, gotta have the coffee. Wake me up, shake me up, dip me like a lassie. One sip, two sips, and I'm feeling so alive. Coffee in the morning, it's the best way to survive.
Oops, good morning. I got a little happy there with my finger. Good morning, good morning. Welcome in, everybody. It feels odd and good to be back on my regular schedule. I've missed you guys during the day. And I'm like, oh, I'll just go live this evening. And then this evening comes, and yeah, I'm tired at that point. But anyway, welcome in, everybody. Grab your coffee, your tea, whatever that morning vice might be. And I have got Butterfly up here with me today. Welcome in, ma'am. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good. How are you? Good morning, everybody.
Yes, good morning, everybody. Let's see who we have here. Let me pull up my other chat because this restream chat is a little slow to go. Boy, it's been a busy morning in true crime already. It really has. It's crazy. Like I got so aggravated the last couple of days with this space, you know what I mean, and all the things.
Yeah.
But trying to focus. Okay. Welcome in, of course, my mod team, Butterfly and Forrest. I don't think Rachel's here yet. Pammy,
Yes.
welcome in. She's here? Okay, good. Can't scare Mama Bear. Welcome in. I said Pammy, Carrie, welcome in, guys. Andy, welcome in, Miss Andy. Yes, ma'am, I sent you an email, but I don't think it went through, so I ended up DMing you. So we got to get together soon. Welcome in, everybody, and thanks for joining us. Forrest dropped this in the chat a moment ago. Brian Walsh update. I was watching the hearing this morning too, Forrest.
Me too.
So he's getting set for juries. He had a competency hearing at the end of the week, right? And they found him competent to stand trial. Then this morning they had another pretrial going on, pretrial hearing. Well, actually, they were set to start jury selection today. But he pled guilty to 2 lesser charges this for misleading investigation and conveying of a dead body. Now, how can you plead guilty to those 2 lesser charges and not plead guilty to the murder? Girl, I'm like, what are you doing there, sir?
Exactly.
Well, I've missed you guys with my morning coffee. It's not been the same. I'm like, what is wrong? And Mercury been in retrograde. That's my ruling planet. When it goes cattywampus, I feel like I go cattywampus a little bit. But that's about to end. That's about to end all that madness. And then I can truly go within for the winter and do my energy work. Because, God, Lord, I need it. This space got my energy all messed up.
Right. I've been all over the place lately.
I don't like it when my energy gets affected. It really drains me and it affects me. And I'm like, you people, some people out here, people. I just can't with people sometimes. And you know what? The strangest thing to me is how some people can come out here into this space, and it's happening every day, all day, twice on Sunday. I'm here for the victims. I'm here to help. I'm here to call out the BS. Well,
And then they end up being the BS.
Okay. Can we get a mirror and look in that bitch? Y'all know
Exactly.
what I say out there on these YouTube streets. Y'all cannot be safe enough. Do your due diligence. Do your homework. If you hear something, say something. Isn't that what we always say? If you hear something, say something. But then who wants to be the one to say something? Because then they all turn on you like vultures
That's
and
how
start coming at you.
active,
I'm about to dox you. You called me a name.
right?
I'm about to dox you. You discovered my secret hidden alt accounts. I don't even have an alt account. I would be confused in myself. I'm like, which one? Who am I today?
Oops.
I've never thought about making an alt account. If I'm going to say it, I'm going to say it, right? I'm not going to hide behind a secret, make a mess and a mockery of a missing child's case.
Right. So if you check yourself, we wouldn't have to. So
Yeah, right? If people would just check themselves, then the rest of us wouldn't have to and be called drama queens and assholes. Mm. The biggest asshole is Lauren from Hidden True Crime. She's still over there messing with Kresha. I post, girl, I'm not done with that whole situation, but when I go back to talking about that, it won't be about the drama of it all and the eyebrows because I'm so over that conversation. How can we sit here for a solid month and tear her down over her eyebrows? What is that accomplishing?
Mm-mm.
Can
Nothing.
we force change among these sketchy players? The murder sheets of it all, the hidden true crime people of it all, the ones out there really call havoc, the ones really giving all of true crime a bad name. It's like I have a real hard time going to Krama channels and watching them tear down Lauren Matthias when they're literally tearing down true crime as a whole.
Yeah.
And I'm just not down with that because I'm literally a true crime creator. I don't even create true crime, it creates itself. I'm just here to talk about it. So we're
Right.
going to talk about it. We will start with this, though, because this is Mr. Wandra's little mug shot. And he was finally extradited yesterday morning, early in the morning, back over to Idaho. Boy, Idaho just cannot stay out of the news, can it? Everybody out there hollering about Florida man. Excuse me, what's going on in Idaho? Y'all look other way. Y'all go back to looking at other states. Quit looking at mine. Like Idaho's got some serious things. So now we have Vallow Daybell, and then we have the Koberger, and now we got Mr. Wandra, all with Idaho. They're spending a ton of money in that state prosecuting these bad people. And do it because get them out of you, man. I wouldn't want that many people at one time lurking around my state.
Yep. Well, they need to add more to those people that need to be charged, not just him.
Andy, Andy says I'll do it. My name's out there. Yes, ma'am. They are messing with everything, Andy, and it's so. It's like if we speak out and say something, then we're the people like the Connors of it all want to come out and make a little video and gaslight us. It's like stop it. If we're not going to sit here and have a true conversation about what all of this means in the long run, the big picture of it all, I don't need to have a conversation about it. What's going on with the eyebrows came in a little late. I was just saying, Riley, that I could sit here for 3 hours and tear down Lauren's eyebrows, but what good would that do? I want to show the dirty deeds.
Yeah.
Women's looks, that's something I do not care about. I barely care about my own. As I sit here in my robe drinking coffee. That's why y'all ain't gonna see me up here. I ain't trying to get all fixed up for people.
I did
Exactly. I get you. People always go hot about Florida man. Shit, half them people were transplants. They weren't even from here. They just made their way down to the Sunshine State and decided to call it home, and we had to deal with them.
Well,
Par for the
Texas
course.
is right.
Yeah, butterflies down there in Texas, and I don't like her going around any of the waterways down there. I'm like, don't do it, girl. Although she did
Nope.
recently.
Yeah,
She
I did, but not down by the water. So I was over it.
There you go,
You know,
Andy.
I didn't tell you about this. So that day that we had the parade there, I
Uh-huh.
was standing and they were setting up to put the flags like on the trucks and stuff. I had no idea. Like this homeless person came right behind me and was like yelling something so hard.
Oh, you're
Crap.
kind of breaking up a little bit.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. Um, yeah, he was just like yelling behind my ear, and no, I didn't even hear him or see him come right. It was so strange. I was like, oh
That
crap, this guy could have just shanked me or something.
you could have been in the next victim in the Lady Bird Lake, man.
Over Lady
You
Bird Lake, throw me in
you
the water, and there I go.
you better be careful because I know you were down there. You sent me the videos. So I'm like,
Yeah,
girl, I don't like it when
yeah,
my friends go into the areas that are dangerous. We don't need butterfly take. And girl, put a lid on your drink and keep it in your hand the entire time and don't wander off into them bars. We have a theory.
no, we were over the bridge, but still, that part kind of spooked me a little bit.
I bet it
I like
did.
because we were paying attention to other things, and
Yeah.
there was people behind me that were with us. I was like, can you like let me know or something? Like, I don't want to end up in the hospital or over the bridge.
Oh, okay, Andy, that makes sense. I always wondered. I'm like, I don't understand what. Okay, but now I get it. I got you. I got you. Allegedly speculating. Thanks for coming in. I appreciate you. I've been enjoying her chats lately, her streams.
Yeah.
She's put out some good um, stuff with the Stacey Wandra the last few days. I do have an interview. Brandy spoke with local media. She attended his hearing, which he was there virtually. He didn't have to go in. Yeah, that Lady Bird Lake stuff is crazy. We've been covering it for quite a while here, and my girl here's local, so she is able to get me pictures and videos and different things like that. So we do follow those cases there. Um, a lot of inconsistencies. We've read about victims' families, what they think about what's going on in the area. It's pretty insane.
Mm.
We can never be too safe. Okay, let's pull up this video
Yeah.
I have. Hopefully, guys, it will work. The streaming seems to be going okay with my hotspot. They're supposed to come out, I guess, today and try to get me wired in. I don't know. The guy called me yesterday and said, I'll be out. I'm like, okay, well, come on out, buddy.
Dude,
Get this house wired up for some damn internet. Get with the day. Get with the times.
mm,
Okay. So this is a local affiliate out of Fayetteville, Idaho, and like I said, Brandy spoke with them after the hearing.
Idaho News 6, I'm senior reporter Don Nelson outside the Payette County Courthouse and Jail, where Stacey Wandra sits in a jail cell. He is back in Idaho, accused of killing young Michael Vaughn.
You're pure evil. You have no heart. You have no soul.
Brandy Neal, the mother of missing Fruitland boy Michael Vaughn, was in the courtroom Monday to face Stacey Wandra. Wandra is accused of murdering her then 5-year-old son in 2021. I asked Neal why she went to the courthouse on Monday.
So hopefully he could see my face. And I need to be at every one of the arraignments and the hearings. I need to know where my son is and what they did to him in the entirety.
Stacey Wandra is also charged with second-degree kidnapping and destruction of evidence. His charges were filed just 2 weeks ago while he was still in an Arizona prison on unrelated charges.
Stacey Wandra has been transported up from Arizona to Payette County. He just arrived here this morning.
In 2022, Stacey Wandra and wife Sarah Wandra were named as suspects in the case. Stacey was already in custody and Sarah was charged with failure to report a death. Police excavated the yard of their Fruitland home but found no evidence, and Sarah's charges were dropped in 2023. Would you think you'll ever die?
No. because there is no answer to why would somebody hurt a innocent little boy. What answer could you give what answer could you possibly give? How scared was he? Did he ask for me? Did he ask for Tyler? I don't know if I want to know that, but I think I deserve that.
Neil feels Monkey's presence with her every day and says Michael's younger sister talks to him all the time. Neil says her daughter learned at a very young age about the bad guys.
I think her last comment on this, the police can catch him and then she can kick him in the face. And I was like, okay.
Fruitland Police Chief J.D. Huff told me he's limited in what he can say other than he is pleased to see this case progressing through the court system. Stacy Wondra is being held in Payette County without bond. He is expected back in court for a status hearing on December 15th, followed by a preliminary hearing on December 16th. Idaho News 6 will be there. Reporting from outside the Payette County Courthouse and jail, I'm senior reporter Don Nelson.
So December 15th and 16th, he's due back in court. And I am just, the fact that Brandy is still here to even see this through. Do you know what I mean? It's like that little boy is up there in heaven just surrounding his mama with all kinds of love, it feels like. That's just my feeling.
Yeah.
And the fact that she was so sick recently, you know, with her transplant and everything. And y'all, it takes a long time to recover from a transplant. You never fully recover.
And the stress.
My daughter who
doesn't help.
passed away, it doesn't help. My daughter who passed away 20 years ago was an organ donor, and she donated 5 organs. 5 people were able to live. 1 received a liver transplant. 1 received the lung transplant. I received a letter from the family. I was a grown man, and the wife was just, I don't know what to say back to it, so I never did, but I loved getting that letter. Now, fast forward, actually years later, my son marries a beautiful girl. That beautiful girl had a heart transplant at the age of 15. So now I have a daughter who donated and a daughter-in-law who was a receiver. God, I saw both sides of it, right? So then once she got her heart transplant, she didn't live past 22. Once she gave birth to my grandson, 6 years later, she was not with us any longer. It is a lifelong journey. When you receive a transplant, you are on medications for the rest of your life, numerous medications that, and when you're pregnant, you have to come off of some of those meds. So it's a whole thing. But I have a beautiful, amazing grandson who is 10 years old now. You know, we went on with our lives, but Brandy is where my focus is. I understand her journey through the needing the transplant and receiving it, and then the health journey it takes to stay healthy once you receive that liver, right? Or whatever organ you got. So, and then the fact that all the stress, you know, of even having to, and allegedly showed up, we were watching that the other day on her channel where confronted him on that panel, you know, and that was gut wrenching for all of us. You know, any mother is gonna do whatever any real mother. Let me rephrase that. Any real mother is gonna do exactly what she did. Now, a lot of the comments were like, I don't know, you know, if it was me, but here's the thing about if it was me. We don't know until we get there. A lot of times we think, sometimes we know exactly how we're going to react in a situation. Sometimes we think we know how we'll react, but we end up reacting a different way. You know, would I have come at that guy all hot, and what would it have, you probably want to for a moment, but what good would it have done in the end? You know what I mean? It was just a lot of stress on her, and to try to get him to answer the simplest of questions. Where is my child? Let me have his remains, right? To put that part of it to rest. It's yeah, she is amazing. We've seen too many mothers come out and say, my baby is gone, help me find him, to turn around and find out you did it, right? And now it's like when a child goes missing, oh, look at the mother or the father or whatever. Yeah, we need to, but a lot of times we don't need to, and it's ridiculous, you know. And I think fingers were pointed at them and at some point, you know. I didn't follow it back then, But it's heart-wrenching to see
Heard
her
about.
have to go through all of it.
Yeah.
I'm glad they finally got. I don't know what's changed in that case to get enough probable cause now to make charges stick. When you dropped charges on Sarah in the past and you never arrested this, I get it. They've been in prison. People are like, oh, well, they were going to wait till they were released and then arrest them. I get all that. Well, why did you drop the charges on Sarah to begin with? And why did you never arrest him to begin with? Why now? Why now? I'm not saying they don't have enough, but damn it, I hope they do. Jurors aren't just so, well, unless they're Delphi, which is an anomaly in itself. Jurors this day and age aren't willing to accept slight probable cause.
Mm-hmm.
Casey Anthony walked right out the door a free damn woman because the state of Florida did not have enough evidence to prove their case. And the evidence they had was, it was bad. I watched the whole trial. I was so unimpressed and so disgusted and knew halfway through, like I've said, they blew it. She's walking.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that don't happen here. And I can't help but feel that way because I've seen it with my own eyes. And I felt my stomach turn when I turned to my husband halfway through that trial and said, this bitch is going to walk. He said, no, she won't. Can you take off your emotions for a moment and put on your attorney hat? Because she's walking out the door a free woman. Thanks to the failure of the state of Florida and their botched new science evidence. The smell test don't cut it.
Yeah.
It just did not cut it. So we did, I did post the criminal complaint to the community tab, but we read it the other day, or did we? I know we read the probable cause affidavit, but the criminal complaint pretty much just summarizes that for you. So it is available on the community tab if you want to go and take a look at that and read it. It's there. So we'll keep an eye on the court dates that are upcoming. I do have those dates on my little calendar here. It's so hard. Well, it's not hard to keep up with all the dates sometimes if I just stay organized. So I have got a little system going. Well, I had to trying to cover all those damn Idaho case court hearings and Stearns and all the things. Yeah. Anyway.
I just hope the others that are involved are also indicted because
Me too. What about those other two, right? What about them? Where's their charges? Deborah says, is there a way for me to replay that video? I got a call. Thank you. Well, yeah, you can rewind and watch and then catch up to us or go back on the replay and catch it. You mean the news clip that we just seen? I can actually grab that link and drop it in chat for you, hun. Hold on. And then y'all can go watch that on your own if you want to see it again. Let me grab the link really quick. It came from one of the local affiliates there. Okay, there it should be coming up in chat now. That's a link directly to that news clip that we just watched. Okay. So as we were saying in the beginning, Brian Walsh. So a lot of you, I don't know how many of you have followed the case. I follow it kind of loosely in the media.
Yeah.
If you've done the same thing, just keeping up with what's kind of happening all throughout. Now, there's been a lot of evidence that we've seen. Sarah is in jail, isn't she? She's in prison. Isn't she sitting over there in the women's psych pit prison or whatever over there near Kuna?
That's what I thought.
Yeah, I think she is. And people are thinking that when she gets released, that's when her charges, because there's a probable cause out there on her as well. Because she was found loco. Unlike Mr. Brian Walsh, he was found competent. So with the Walsh case, he is accused of murdering his wife, Anna Walsh. And gosh, they have evidence of him like going in and buying like the duct tape and different things. I got to go back and review some of that. There's videos of him out there purchasing these items and things of that nature, and then possibly dismembering her. Let me get this guy off the screen. You know what? I'd like to have some darts right now. And you know what? Not to change the
Right.
subject, 'cause I'm gonna get to it eventually in the show. That we may be here for a few hours today. It depends. Speaking of which, I gotta jump up and grab my phone charger. Brian Enton dropped a piece on the firing squad. Yikes. Um, I wonder if Mr. Wandera here will get the death penalty in Idaho. Are they just gonna, scrub it off the table because it's a little hard?
Yeah.
We just saw what happened with that Koberger guy. I'm
Hopefully it's
curious.
accepted.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that Enton piece on the firing squad was wow. It was pretty crazy. But I got that to review. If we don't get to it today, we'll probably look at that tomorrow because that's something that they just used this method. It was in North Carolina, I think it was, or South Carolina. One of the two. I got to go back and look again. But so one of the two Carolina states just did this and brought to somebody who was there. So the reason I'm interested is because in the state of Florida, where I'm from, my entire life, I thought the death penalty, well, growing up, I thought everybody had the death penalty till I realized they didn't, and that some people felt some type of way about it. I decided many, many years ago I wasn't going to feel any type of way about it because I'm going to let that between the lawmakers and Jesus. I don't have a problem with it, but I don't know. Florida doesn't have this method, right? We still use lethal injection. We used to be home to old Sparky. We'd throw you in that chair and strap you in, and he began to malfunction and sparks flew. For real. So they had to retire old Sparky, and then they began to use lethal injection. And then that became the mainstream for most states, right? Was it South Carolina, Riley? Thank you for that correction. Thank you. So yeah, it's being implemented and used. And when Idaho first started talking about it, back when Koberger was a thing still in the court case and all that, that they were only going to adopt the method, right, if they didn't have access to the drugs for the lethal injection. And they were saying, oh, the manufacturers of these drugs don't want to give them to us for this purpose. A drug company got a conscience all of a sudden. Okay.
Right.
Girl. Like wishy-washy people that we live. Lord help us.
Jesus.
Don't use my medicines to put people to death, but here, have an opioid.
Right.
Wow.
Which will probably
Damn
kill
it.
you.
Right. And then call me when you need the medication, the Suboxone, to get off the opioid. What the hell?
Yeah, medicine to get off the medicine.
At Letcher County, Kentucky much? That's all I got to say about that. All right, which we'll get into here soon. I got a lot to say about a lot of stuff, apparently.
It's been a while.
Girl, not going live's about to consume me. I'm talking to myself about stuff over here. I'd rather talk to my people. They help me unpack it in real time. Y'all know how my brain works if you've been around for a minute. Salty will be trying to figure it out live in real time. And it can be messy sometimes, but hey, we get there.
You know that death penalty is few and far between these days.
It really is.
They either pass away before they're supposed to, or it's just used as a tool to get them to plea.
Yeah, Florida still will do it. Florida's like, we're still doing it here. we got a long list of people. We got to field some of you out. Too bad old Stearns didn't get it. And we're going to take a look at a thing called Operation Home for the Holidays and how Florida just warned all those men like Stefan, death penalty's waiting on you. And I thought, well, where was it when Stearns was up?
Exactly.
Because there was your prime example, state of Florida, with your brand new shiny laws about what you're going to do.
Bus, right? 122 kids.
122 kids. Yeah, we got the inside look on that. But as a Floridian, I was not happy with my state for taking a plea deal with a person like Stefan Stearns. Stefan with your
Yep,
jailhouse pen. Give that man a inside of an ink pen so he can't stab nobody's
Telephone.
eyeball out. Was he gonna stab himself? Like, I just wanted to get some sleep too, Jen.
Oh my God.
I picked up the stylus to my phone and was pretending to stab myself in the eye when I was doing that. Good thing y'all can't see me. Y'all be like, is she okay?
Be careful.
Y'all know I can't with
Yours
that
won't
dude.
bend.
Look, I tear that dude apart on my lives. I've got in trouble with the YouTubes a couple times for how hard I go at Stearns, and I need to go at somebody. So he's my go-to as always.
Yeah.
But our state has these shiny new laws aimed at men like him for what men like him did to an innocent little girl. And that was a prime, I mean, I would have used him as a prime example. You're not going to, no, we're not putting up with it. But no, the state's like, okay, those weird little attorneys in there on there. I don't even know, was it their second time out for both sides? I don't know. Prosecution and the defense, they could barely talk loud and all the things. What's going on here? Bring me one of those hard-nosed prosecutors that ain't playing, right?
Right.
That's what we want to
Not the
see.
wishy-washy one.
Lord, we get tired of talking about horrible investigations. Can we see something done right for a change? Something that we could proudly get behind and say, yes, finally. So
Exactly.
we're going to watch a little bit of that hearing from this morning with Brian Walsh and go over a little more in depth on what happened there. So we're going to move on to one little more piece that I want to cover first. Now, this is really just a news clip that I saw, and it got me thinking about something because I will not let it go that I don't trust Washington State University. And if you've been around me for a minute here, you know, and you might know why. I got a huge problem with the big lie in the probable cause affidavit of Bryan Kohberger. Back when the case first popped off 3 years ago and the PCA finally came out and everybody's like, oh, this thing's stupid. It doesn't. It made a whole bunch of sense to me. And when you broke down those pages and you wrote, if you broke it all down, it made perfect sense. That car lined up on a video every time a phone pinged. Wow, that camera and that phone ping match. The big lie in the PCA, and I can pull it up and show you. WSU called in a tip about a 2015 white Elantra, and the person driving the car, according to their ID, had bushy eyebrows. According to WSU, they never called you with said tip. Wow. WSU never called Moscow and said, hey, we got a white car over here. Not one time. But there it is in the PCA. And you know why that was put in there? Because we couldn't go in there and say we got this guy because of IGG, investigative genetic genealogy. Because it's not mainstream enough yet. We might have a attorney with wanting to make a name for themselves actually go at this for a moment, which by God she did. And she got somewhere with it. That was your big lie in the PCA. And they can't come out here and justify it because it's there. We even got the interview of the WSU chief saying we didn't call that tip in. And excuse me, officers, I don't think one officer should call a tip line.
Exactly.
To leave a tip. You need to be calling an officer directly, right? Like, hey, officer so-and-so.
Yeah, I'm supposed to communicate with each other.
Yeah. So then the WSU, all the things we know have come out since then. WSU was having all these issues with Bryan Kohberger that we have now learned were happening before the crimes. What were they doing diligently to keep an eye on this guy? No, it's not their fault what he did under any circumstance, right? But what was going on behind the scenes And then what about these weird emails? If you see this car, do not pull it over. What? The car that the entire bolo for this car, don't pull it over. But we can pull over every Tom, Dick, and Harry, swab their cheek, send it off, interrogate the hell out of them, download their phones, their names are leaked out all over social media. But this guy, if you see this car, don't pull it over. Let him go. Like, what? All right, so WSU, got my eye on you because I think you might be cover up much. Protect the brand much.
You know, the whole time they were saying isolated incident, nothing to see here.
Well, that was
But
Moscow. Yeah, Moscow's saying that. But WSU over in Washington, they got a hot one on their hands. They got a professor that now come out and said, I always knew after graduation he would get in trouble. He would have accusations leveled against him. He would do that, like he would be a psychopath. Ma'am, where was your red flag when you were talking to him daily? Now that he unalived 4 kids in a college off-campus house, now your red flags are waving. Kind of like when we cover Madeline Soto, we say, don't let the red flags be ignored. The kind Jen Soto chose to ignore because she knows she needed some good sleep, and this man's willing to watch my baby because he loves her like I do. Yeah, we can't ignore red flags anymore. At some point, it's going to be on us for being so gullible. I don't think I don't look in the mirror and own my shit. Set boundaries, girl. Don't do that. No. Pay attention.
Right.
When that gut tells you something's a little bit off, take it for what it's worth and then back off a minute and observe. All right, so WSU is embroiled in a legal battle. Outside of Bryan Kohberger is one yet to come involving WSU and Bryan Kohberger. They wouldn't need that financially. That would be a blow. And so would this case.
Claims that it was...
Now remember, this is going on while we got Bryan Kohberger over here running amok inside of our classrooms and stealing keys to apartments out of the desk drawer inside the office and allegedly breaking into said apartment and moving her burnt cake around. And then setting up cameras for her because she was afraid she had an intruder. Wonder if he downloaded that app to his phone and was sitting at his house watching her in her house. Did he wipe that from his phone too, or do they have evidence of it? Give me the goods on Kohberger, damn it.
Responsible for the death of a student in 2019. Graham 2's Connor McAvoy spoke with Sam Martinez's family. He died at a hazing incident at a fraternity. And Connor tells us where the lawsuit stands now. Connor?
Well, Sam Martinez's death in 2019 sparked ongoing conversations relating to university hazing and proper policy. His family says WSU knowingly let the tragedy happen, but the university says it can't control what happens off campus.
In November 2019, WSU freshman Sam Martinez died from acute alcohol poisoning. The result, Pullman police and WSU agreed, of hazing at Alpha Tau Omega.
We, of course, were utterly crushed. Shocked, and it took us a long time to even know if we could stand up again, frankly, after such a losing your child.
Sam's mother, Jolene House, says her family hasn't been the same since, but in the months that followed, they pushed state legislators for a change, and in 2022 they passed a new state law, Sam's Law. It requires schools to make hazing incidents public, and anyone that kills or seriously hurts a person in a hazing incident can be charged with a felony. But a lawsuit the family filed against WSU in 2020, 2 years before the law went into effect, argues the university is also to blame alongside the fraternity, saying hazing was already known to occur at WSU and still does.
Is hazing still going on at Washington State University?
The judge initially rejected her family's case, but in January, a Washington State appeals court ruled a university should bear the responsibility. This was a first of its kind for Washington State. In response, WSU appealed the decision to the Supreme Court. The High Court heard arguments today, and their ruling determined if the case goes to trial. WSU attorney Nicholas Ulrich, fraternity members do at off-campus events like at Alpha Tau Omega, is out of their hands.
They're going to have clubs, they're going to meet off campus. This is a private.
Off campus doesn't matter. Well, you know where Mr. Koberger lived? Because I do. I know what I'd be doing right now if I was a parent.
Residence where the university does not have any power to go to, observe, or be at.
The family's attorney, Rebecca Rowe, argued previous investigations show the university knew hazing had gone on years before Sam's attendance, and because of this, they should have intervened.
If it was an organized activity, and I use that term loosely, by the fraternity, and they knew, and that it involved hazing and minor pledging, yes, they had the authority to do it anywhere.
House says today's hearing was long overdue, but is relieved the case is now getting the court's attention 5 years after the filing, and they hope to bring the case to a jury.
Sam deserves to have his story heard and to allow others to render a decision on whether he was wronged by the university.
WSU President Elizabeth Cantwell sent a statement in response to today's hearing saying his loss underscores the importance of their ongoing efforts to safeguard the well-being of every member of the community. You can read her full statement on our website. That's KREM.com. Right now, there's no timeline for when the Supreme Court may hand down its ruling.
Now, I went to the Supreme Court, Idaho Court website looking for that and looking for the documents. And the website was down this morning. It was a little frustrating because I was like, I want to. And
Right.
the thing, right, because don't you think that if they have all that litigation going on, right, they're going to do whatever they can to keep from having a litigation in the Brian Koberger case. Now, why would they, right? They have an on-campus housing student who's also employed by the university go across the state line and unalive for kids and young adults in an off-campus home. Where's their liability in that, right? Now, you got a professor already coming out from your university and publicly says in a document, actually, in an interview with police, that, yeah, he was going to be a psychopath. That kind of opens the door for liability, wouldn't you think, Butterfly?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I just saw Brian Enton put out a video talking about just that.
Oh, see?
Brian
Critical
Koberger,
mind.
victim, are suing
What?
Washington State University where he was getting his doctorate. And he put out a video.
Oh, is he put out a video on what we just saw?
Yeah. It
Oh,
talks about
okay.
the victim for suing Washington State University.
Okay, go Brian. Look there. Look there. We're on top of things just like Brian Enton is around here. But also, I didn't see him do that, but I did see him do the Letcher County stuff. I like Brian's true boots on the ground investigative reporting.
Dude's
That's
everywhere.
that's the kind of reporting I can get behind. He doesn't until he comes at me sideways feeling or makes me feel some type of way or makes me feel like he's biased or all the weird shit you would look for. I've not seen that in Brian Enton ever, honestly. I don't know, but I like his reporting. I appreciate the reporting he is doing because he's going around touching on things that not many are willing to go look at, like Letcher County.
Yep.
Mainstream media
covered
gets
the-
there for a minute, but I'm sorry,
Yeah,
go ahead. I don't mean to interrupt you, Butterfly, but you're breaking up, so I can't tell when you're stopping and
okay.
starting. It may be on my end now because I am running this shitty Wi-Fi and I got a warning saying I've used a lot of data. So I'm just trying to
Uh-oh.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but yeah,
No,
go
it's
ahead. I'm
okay.
sorry.
No, I said he made it down here to cover the Lady Bird Lake and the Houston, the drownings there as well.
Yes, he did, because we reviewed that on one of our lives together. He sure did. He goes everywhere, does all kind of stories. But he It would be kind of cool to have, I get it. I'm not attached to anyone or anything really. I'd do it. The difference is I don't like to fly, so I have to get in a car. Y'all, it take me a minute, y'all, but I'll get there.
I shared
Hang on.
his video. If you want to share it.
Okay, thanks. Okay, cool. Hey, Dizzy, welcome in. Good to see you. So you're breaking up, hun.
All right, I'm gonna
Well, yeah, go out and come back in.
Yeah, well.
Can you try that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Bye. I said bye like I'm on the phone or something. Sometimes I forget I'm on a live stream and I'm not like talking on a phone. Like, oops, did I just say that? But 9 times out of 10, yeah, I said it. Yeah, I said it. Okay, so we'll have to keep, like I said, I did go to the Idaho, sorry, I was writing something down. So I went to the website this morning and it was down, so I wasn't able to get any of the documents on that situation. But yeah, they're going to want to protect themselves from more litigation from other things. And of course, you're going to be worried in the back of your mind about the Kohberger situation. And with all the issues they were having with him, prior to the crimes and all of the things we've seen come out, and they open themselves up to a little something. So we will continue to keep an eye on that. Dizzy, is that a hearing over? I watched it this morning with my coffee and saw that he did plead guilty to the lesser charges. And we went over that at the top of the show, but we're going to look at those here in a little more in depth in a few minutes. We're just running through some case updates this morning on a few other things. So we covered Wandra being extradited back to Idaho. Then we looked at the WSU now. We're just going to take a little look at what's happened in Letcher County for a few minutes. It's back up. Thank you, Cloudflare. That's it. It was down this. Dizzy, are we thinking alike or what, girl? Because it was down this morning. I will try it again. Thank you so much, because I want to take a look at that stuff. I always love looking at the Supreme Court documents when something that it's like when Delphi, when they had to go over to the Supreme Court when the attorneys were fired by the judge and all the things, her playing with the docket. I love looking at that stuff. I'm always up on the Florida Supreme Court website looking at stuff too. That's why I was so annoyed them not taking Stearns to the.
Yeah.
We could have brought old Sparky back for that one. Shit. Let sparks fly. Who the hell cares?
Or ship them to Idaho for the gun, like one at a time, all at once.
You know what? They're going to die in prison anyway if they have life. Once they knock on that pearly door that I hear about, hey, it might get slammed shut.
If they go there.
They're not, well, they're going to get the opportunity, according to the Bible. You could knock, but it may not open. Then guess what? My mama always said, Mama, I'm thirsty. Yeah, well, people in hell want ice water too. And I'm like, damn, Mama. Well, if they wouldn't have been bad, they wouldn't have went to hell and they wouldn't want ice water right now. That's what I was thinking in my head. But if I'd have said that out loud, she'd have looked at me sideways and probably would have ran, right?
Right.
But my mama had creepy sayings, like she's a Southern lady, so she had, well, people in hell want ice water. And every time she said that, I think to myself, well, if they didn't do bad stuff, they wouldn't be in hell wanting that ice water. I was just hot and thirsty from playing outside. She'd say, grab the water hose. And then because I'm in Florida, you gotta let the water hose run for 10 minutes to cool the water off before you can even drink
Same
it.
here.
Right?
Same here.
You burn that
Watch your
tongue
mouth.
slap off, girl. You're like, damn, that was hot. You idiot.
Right.
You knew better.
Sauna water.
Ooh. Okay. Let me pull up this article. There's a couple of things that's politically that are happening in Now, we all know what went down in Letcher County, Kentucky. If you don't know, I'll give you a quick little summary. Sheriff Mickey Steins entered the judge's chamber/office. There's debate on what that really was. And they had a conversation. We see it on video with no audio. They're sitting there having a conversation for a few minutes. The judge lights his 100 cigarette, the long one, lights up his cigarette there in the office, and they're just chatting it up. And then the sheriff gets up, pulls out his weapon, and pretty much unloads on the judge. The judge doesn't make it. So now we have an unalive judge and a sheriff who says, I did it. Why would that happen, right? That was our first thoughts. What in the actual... What was your first thought when you heard that, Butterfly? Did you think, what could have happened? Or, I mean...
Why?
Why?
Like, I mean, yeah, I mean, it was just during the day when everyone's there. It wasn't like after hours when no one's there in the courthouse.
Right?
So that was my first question, was like, why? What happened? Like, why would this happen?
At that time of day, in that point in time, versus a meeting at the bar for a beer or a coffee, or meet me at the house in the yard. We need to have a conversation, whatever was going down there. But yeah, it was like all of a sudden the sheriff's like, you know what? I'm tired of you. And we're like, whoa, what? Yeah, it automatically, because it was a sheriff and a judge, my brain automatically went to something's amiss in town. Something's going on in town. Because that's pretty... I'll be surprised if it's just two good old boys having a disagreement over a dog. I'm from the South, if you know what that just means we just had a beef about something, right? That was more than just
and
a
it wasn't
beef.
done in a heat. After looking at the footage, it wasn't the heat of the moment type thing. Oh,
It sure didn't feel that way, did it? Because they're just sitting there chilling, having a conversation. It didn't appear to be a heated argument where... Because Mickey Steins ultimately is going with the defense in Kentucky. Well, not excitement disturbance. I almost called it that. But the oh my God, it's escaped my mind. But where they have a long... What is it called? Hold on.
Yeah, I forget.
Emotional disturbance, something like that. Let me pull it up for real, though. I don't want to... And they're still set to go to trial, I guess. Okay, so the Kentucky law addresses emotional disturbance in criminal defense and civil torts, defining it as mitigating factor that can reduce the severity of a crime under Kentucky Code. For civil claims, a plaintiff must prove the defendant's extreme and outrageous behavior caused severe emotional distress. That's for, hang on, criminal. Let's look at the criminal aspect. Under assault under extreme emotional disturbance, that's a defense. A defendant can use EED as a defense to reduce the degree of assault, according to the code. If the assault would otherwise be a first or second degree assault, it may be reduced to a Class D felony under EED. It would be a fourth degree assault. It could become a Class B misdemeanor. Reasonableness. The EED must be based on a reasonable explanation or excuse. A reasonable explanation or excuse. I felt threatened. I don't know. I just had good enough. Viewed from the defendant's perspective in the circumstance. Y'all, that's big, really, if you're an attorney. The EED must be based on a reasonable explanation or excuse viewed from the defendant's perspective. Everybody's perspective is different. Reasonable is a crazy word. My reasonable and your reasonable may be two very different things.
Yeah.
So from the defendant's perspective, is this reasonable? Oh, man. it could reduce to manslaughter. The state can charge first-degree manslaughter if a death occurs while the defendant is under the influence of an EED. Competency to stand trial. Seth's law was enacted in April of 2024 to address delays in mental health evaluations for competency to stand trial. Now, we know that Mickey has underwent competency evaluations. So yeah, he's got, so it is the emotional distress. So that's what Mickey is. So then after that, we learned that 3 days prior to the unaliving of the judge, Mickey Steins had to go and give a deposition in a civil lawsuit against his sheriff's department. He was being sued under the sheriff's department for failure to train his deputies, because one of his deputies was assigned to Judge Mullins as his bailiff, and he was charged and pled guilty to charges that said he was meeting women in the judge's chambers and exchanging favors for, instead of making them pay for their ankle monitors to get out of jail. Big scandal, right? Whole ass thing. Big lawsuit against the sheriff's department. And then boom, 3 days later, Mickey's taking care of the judge in the chambers. And we're like, what's going on here? Well, we read all that deposition here. We've done shows on it. I began working on some playlist stuff. I'm trying to get better organized at it, guys, but we did read a lot of documents in the civil case. So you can go back and search some of my lives and you'll find those. So the politics of it all inside the county. If you follow Hillbilly Crime, Elizabeth over there, she unpacks a lot to do with this case because she's local. She knows all the players that I don't know. A lot of it, what I have learned, I haven't watched her in a really long time, honestly, but a lot in the beginning I did, and I learned a lot about who these players were within the community. And then I learned a little more about what's going on politically. When the Judge Mullins, his ex-brother-in-law was the Commonwealth attorney, and he recused his office when Mullins was shot, right? Oh, I can't touch this. He's my ex-brother-in-law. He's a great guy, great uncle to my kids, blah, blah, blah. Small town, everybody knows everybody. And when you're grandfathered in like that, well, you better play ball, right? Lucky you got in to start with. You better play ball, because that's what we do. I'm from the deep woods in the South. I'm way below the Mason-Dixon line. I took that song to heart about what goes down in Don't Trust Your Soul to No Backwoods Southern Lawyer. That shit ain't made up. I've known that since I was 8 years old and first heard that song. I was like, damn, that's a good song. It was a good story. A story I believed, right? As a little girl. And then growing up all my life, that's one of my songs, man. Then you get Reba did it again. When I say again, because she wasn't the first one to do it. It was Vicki Lawrence. So little girl, I was like, yes, that's a damn good song, but that's a crazy story. And then you grow up and realize that story's true. Not the actual story, but those stories are true. So what's been going on? All these people are intertwined. So they have a lawsuit was filed by Mullins' wife. Oh, I'm not looking at Delphi. Stop it. I mean, I am, but not publicly a lot. I'm still going through stuff. And so I do got, my brain has like 5 cases at one time, always open. Sorry. That's probably why.
Come on,
I don't. Can you criminals be good for a minute? I'm busy. Y'all be good. Chill the hell out. Just fuck.
No magic.
Hey, we need to hold a ceremony where we all get together one night and just burn sage at the same exact time and just flood the space.
I agree with that.
With a cleansing. Oh, Lord. Lord, help us all. Okay, Steins. We're looking at the Steins case. Okay, so there's a hearing coming up. Let me pull this up first, and then there's another little story about the little politics of it all. But this one is, now the Mountain Eagle is a local paper, and whether or not we're getting unbiased reporting, can I say it that way? Is that the right word, right term? Unbiased reporting is yet to be seen. This was published November 12th. A judge has set a hearing for January 7th on a motion to dismiss the wrongful death lawsuit filed by the widow of the late Judge Kevin Mullins against 3 Letcher County deputy sheriffs. And Pike Circuit Judge E.D. Coleman, acting as Special Letcher County Circuit Judge in the case, signed the order on Tuesday. All the parties involved agreed to the order beforehand. Kimberly Mullins filed this suit in September against former Sheriff Mickey Steins and deputies Jason Eccles, LaShawna Frazier, and Christine Bowling. And boy, quite some characters we have there. Steins was caught on security videos shooting Judge Mullins on September 19th of last year. Steins, Eccles, a court security officer, Frazier, the sheriff's department bookkeeper, and Christine Bowling, a clerk in the office, were all included in the suit filed by Mrs. Mullins. She argued in the suit that the 3 department employees should have known the sheriff was mentally ill and stopped him from killing the judge. Now, a lot's come out recently about Mickey's mental health prior to what happened in the judge's chambers, and people knew about it. They're all running around town talking about Mickey's mental health and what's going on with Mickey. Let's do this and let's do that. Well, what's wrong with Mickey? You know, how long's that been going on? She's too biased for me. Who y'all talking about? Oh, yeah, well, I get what you're saying, but I also have to take into account that she's so much closer to it than I am, right? And so I'm okay with her feeling the way she feels about it, right? You know what I mean? It's a touchy subject there because she's got the heat turned on her a few times, right? Yeah, Hillbilly, that's what I said, Dizzy. I took a lot in the beginning of this case as she was unpacking a lot. That's where I learned a lot about who these players were, right? And how their ties to the community and the case. She's great about giving you the facts of that. That's what I appreciated about her coverage. And trust me, I've had Taya Adams here on the show. I watch Taya and Brandy a lot as well. Brian Enton has spoke to another new witness, or new accusations have been made by a new person, and we have that as well to review. But I do appreciate Elizabeth's coverage, and the information that you can glean from her shows. It helps put a lot of things into perspective. And Mickey Stein's daughter recently came out with a couple of TikToks. And boy, that got under some people's skin, but I really don't know why. They were just, she can't say a ton, obviously. And I don't think I went live and talked about those yet. Okay, so the 3 employees filed a motion to dismiss the charges, saying there is no allegation that the 3 knew he planned to kill the judge. And that courts in the past have ruled there is no duty to warn. No duty to warn. Like if I know or something may go down or feel like it and I don't report it or warn, that's okay.
Crazy.
Yes, Dizzy, she does know all the tea, and she's right there. That's why, yeah, I know she's being careful. I know all the girls are coming out of them hollers. You know what I mean? They need to be safe, because This has the potential to go so deep and so far wide, within the community, within the state, because you can't take your eyes off the state of Kentucky. And there's a lot of reasons I say that, not backed up by tea on the streets, backed up in documentation, including lawsuits against ARC. I've done past shows, like I've said, we'll have to do another big recap of this case, especially heading into trial, to get complete, like one big show, right? Riley, you know that you say that we have video that came off of Mickey's Facebook page, and he's in his sheriff's car in the front seat, daughter in the back seat, couple years or so prior to what happened, and they are singing "I Shot the Sheriff." And there's another one of them singing, "Oh Mickey, you're so fine, you blow my mind, hey Mickey." Yeah, so there's 2 videos. It's crazy.
I think that song too.
You can't make this true crime shit up. Sometimes it's like, whoa, man, y'all give us the goods. Damn. Okay, right, Dizzy? You can see the judge giving the court employees qualified immunity, like that derivative community that what's damn Soto got a hold of, for whatever that means. It makes me want to step outside and get real high and scream at the top of my lungs, "What's going on?" That's what Florida, what were you doing with these 2? I'm not. I want to just ask them. I want to interview so I can just ask them. Okay, maybe I'll email somebody. They're like, "Who
There
are
will be
you,
more
ma'am?"
bad they'll just lie and won't tell us.
Salty Sleuth on YouTube? Like, what? You want to interview? What the fuck? What you gonna ask us, ma'am? Well, I'm not gonna ask you dumb questions. I can take it. Trust me. Won't catch me at Crime Con asking a stupid question. Oh boy. I'm sorry, guys. I got sidetracked again. The order signed this week gives Steins until today to file answers that are responsive to the complaint, and Mrs. Mullins will have until next week to respond to those to the filings by the deputies. The defendant will have until December 19th to answer her responses. So they want to dismiss the deputies that are involved. So they're going to have a hearing on that, on the civil suit. So that's what the judge's wife has going on. I knew she filed the suit. Oh gosh, it's been a while back. But I hadn't seen any updates on it recently until I was actually looking on the Mountain Eagle at a different article when I saw that one. All right, so let me grab the other one real quick so we can. And I don't know if we will get, so what, ordinarily we don't get cameras in the courtroom in Kentucky, right? We didn't get them in, well, we got them in Brooks Halk, but it was after trial, or at the end of the day they would have some stuff out.
I had a hearing.
Isn't that how they did it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, because you and I were
Steins had a hearing though. And was it streamed or was it just
well, we were able to see the little preliminary hearing that happened, and then they've some other of the stuff has been streamed, but I don't think the judge has not said we can't have a camera. I haven't looked into it in a minute. I know there was motions about moving the case and all the things too.
Yeah.
I don't have all the documents from this case either, and I need to get my hands on them. So if anybody has a link to where I can get because it's hard as hell to get Kentucky documents, and the people who have them, they're not just sharing them, you know what I'm saying? So whatever. But I get the ones that I can get. Judges decide case by case in Kentucky. Okay. Dizzy, if you know where I can get some of those documents, girlfriend, hook me up. I'd appreciate it. Okay. So because I have my Mickey file, Stein's file with the documents that we do have and go over. And I have access to all of the, in fact, I haven't looked at that in a hot minute. I've got access to all the filings in the civil suit, right? I've got that pinned here where I can always keep a good eye on those. Okay. Let me get this screen up and we'll take a look at this article before we move to the, all right. So local candidates can now, can file now, and Hatton isn't running. This was published November 5th. And it was the first day for candidates for next year's elections can file in Kentucky. And some are already beginning to make their moves. Now, there's a lot going on in Letcher County. Remember this. There's lawsuit still pending, like the civil suit. Witnesses are coming forward and speaking to mainstream media by way of Brian Enton. So is Brian Enton mainstream media, or is he part of our social media club? Let's just call it media, because I'm tired of defining the two. Yeah. So, and also speaking to media on social media platforms. Okay. So all this is going on. Amidst all this new election stuff, right, as to who's going to run our county. So that's the whole gist of it, right? Who's now going to run this county and run it correctly and fix the damage that's been done and maybe come out and own a little bit of it? Just a little bit. You did have a bailiff plead guilty to what he was doing in the judge's office with women. Can we not, are we just going to just pretend that didn't happen and there's not a lawsuit going on right now about it? And women are now pointing the finger directly at the judge? Like directly at the judge. We can't miss that. Sorry. Okay.
Don't fix it, it'll continue. We need to fix it.
Riley Winter, please. You can have it. Oh my God. Let me send it to you. Anytime if I get it in Florida, I'm blowing it right towards you. Where you at? I can blow it your way because I don't want it. I want 70 plus. I'm a true Floridian. I am not built for below 70. I'm just not. No. Mm-mm. Okay.
Rain and cold. I'll try and keep it for you.
I can't. I'll stay warm. I know how. But no lie. The other, like, was it yesterday? So right now it's beautiful and warm here, but yesterday morning it was cold, but I had my window open and I had the ceiling fan on and I'm not thinking much about it. The next thing I know, my fingers are ice cold. My fingertips felt numb. I was cold. I was like, oh, what's going on here? No, I'm not having this. I had to shut the window, turn the fan off, turn my heating pad on, warm my hands to come back to life. It was the whole thing. And it was barely cold. And I was like, oh no, this is not happening. So yeah, you can have it, Riley Roo. All right. I wish it for you. Y'all wish me the 70 plus stuff. All right. We get all them snowbirds come here to avoid all that wintry stuff that y'all love. They come here to escape it. Oh joy. All right. So Judge Nick Whitaker, who was appointed to fill the seat left vacant with the shooting death of Judge Kevin Mullins, said he will file for election, his first attempt to run for public office. However, he has also served as an assistant Commonwealth attorney and an assistant county attorney. So he was been the assistant county attorney before, the Commonwealth assistant attorney before, and now he's going to run to be elected to, I guess, fill the seat. It was fluffy a few minutes ago. What, snow? What? Oh, no. I'm like, what year is it? Like, no, what month? November? Damn.
What, 86 years?
Y'all know I don't know what's going on. I could look at the phone. calendars is November. Mm. I had a friend in Illinois, and in May, I'll never forget. It was always in May. I've got spring has sprung, and it's beautiful, and the beach is calling. And she's like, "It's snowing here," and she'd send me a video. I'm like, "What? That's so odd to me." When I step outside, it's nothing like that, and it's like May for both of us.
Right.
It's so funny. All right, back to the article. Y'all distracting me with the conversation at the moment. Hold up, I'll be right back. All right. So that's his first attempt to run. Okay. Also, in court-related races, longtime county attorney Jamie Hatton. So he's been the longtime county attorney, and I know Elizabeth has done some shows and spoke about him, and I don't want to misspeak about any of these people without doing a little more homework. So we're just going to read the article. Jamie Hatton announced Tuesday that he will not seek re-election and will instead back Assistant Commonwealth Attorney Michael Watts for the post. Hatton has been Letcher County Attorney since 2010, serving as a prosecutor in misdemeanor cases and counsel for the Letcher Fiscal Court, as well as the Child Support Enforcement Office. You mean that office that Tyus told us about? Simi Sharp, welcome in, beautiful.
Sammy, a girl.
Yeah.
Great.
I said beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome in, Simi Sharp. It says 9911. So he also ran the child support stuff. Okay. Hatton also runs a private practice with Watts. I am deeply grateful for the trust the people of Letcher County have placed in me over my tenure as county attorney. Really? Can't help but have some snark with these people. Leading this office has been a privilege, and I'm proud of the work we have accomplished together. That just reminded me of those videos of Mullins talking about his drug court wins and programs through the ARC Foundation. The one that's being sued, and literally the FBI says, "Hey, if you got problems with ARC, come to this website and tell us all about it." That stuff, yeah. See, they caused us to throw shade at them with legit court documents and things of that nature outside of the T. Watts has been first assistant county attorney for 8 years. He also serves as assistant Commonwealth attorney and was acting Commonwealth attorney for more than a year while the late Commonwealth attorney Edison Banks was ill. Edison Banks. It's a familiar name. Jamie Hatton has been a friend and a mentor since day one. I am honored to accept his endorsement to become the next Letcher County attorney. I am committed to fair, transparent, and efficient prosecution. Girl, I was trying not to laugh. I was trying not to. I was going to look it up in this dictionary for them. I was going to look it up in the dictionary for them. I am committed to fair, transparent, and efficient prosecution of governance, he said. Well. We would appreciate some of that fair, transparent, and efficient prosecution and governance, now wouldn't we? Now, I understand that some of the women speak... Oh, sorry. All my sounds are turned off, but that one will always come through. That's my kiddo on the move. I never know when someone could be after him that just stumbled upon a victim of circumstance. You didn't get my baby today without me knowing it.
And you know, if they had been all those things, none of this may have happened.
Exactly. If they weren't dirty old bastards, none of this would have happened. And how do you find the perfect willing participant? You prey on the ones that are most vulnerable.
Suppress them.
Oh, goodness. So you prey on your most vulnerable, right? And these women that are being incarcerated. So first of all, if the women have a drug problem, Kentucky is filled with an opioid crisis that turned into a methamphetamine crisis. So you have a bunch of people battling addictions, and then they become vulnerable and part of the system. And then apparently somebody decided one day, well, you know what? We'll take care of this in a minute. Just come have a little private meeting with me, honey. Because she didn't want to stay in jail. She wanted to go home, either to get a fix, to see her baby, to sleep in her own bed, whatever. She did it. And now it's a thing. How long has that been going on in that town? Is it acceptable because these women asked for it? Because they might have been a willing participant at some point. And I say that because Taya doesn't hold excuses for herself. Right? And she has said that. Now, with that said,
You still took advantage.
her first interactions began at the age of 16 years old. Not her fault. None of it's their fault. You know what I'm saying? It's not a blame game like that. It's not like a victim blaming thing. But people have chose to do that is my problem, right? And they're not listening to the circumstances and being honest about the circumstances, right? Because I asked a long time ago, well, not a long time ago, one of the last times I spoke with her about it, I said, are there any minors that are willing to come forward now? Or were they careful enough to make sure they only targeted women 18 and above, the ankle monitor types? You go, when you're a juvenile, that's a whole different ball game, right? Whole different court system to move through. So were they smart enough to know, we'll go for the adult women? Who's going to believe these women, right? Well, I believe these women. I think a majority who have listened to them believe them. Do you feel that way?
Oh, yeah. And I just feel like, they're in places of, their power over them.
Yeah.
So they should know better.
Well, Taya's story goes back to them messing with her child support and messing her in that way. And you're reading, these guys are all intertwined. They're all running the courts. They're all running the systems, right? And when you don't pay for the ankle monitor and the ankle monitor company is not realizing that all of that whole fiasco right there alone is insane. And then you go and look at the ARC program and all the problems there and the lawsuits filed. And the fact that the guy who ran that program was sitting in Mullen's office minutes before the shooting occurred. He gets up with the rest of the gang and walks out. And he had a few choice things to come out and publicly say in the beginning because he didn't like grown women coming out and speaking their truth. There we go, trying to silence people. It's okay to come out and make a rebuttal video, I guess, if you want to. But if you want me to listen to you on a fair, open-minded stage, come with some sense. Don't come at people.
Right. Quit trying to silence.
Right. Instead of coming in silencing somebody, just come speak your truth and let me evaluate the two truths and see where I sit at the end.
Right.
That's all you got to do. It is that fucking simple. But that's not what we get. Instead, we get, gaslighting everywhere. And
it just makes you think that, make more of a decision that they're lying or hiding something. They do things like that. People have no reason so
you don't want the world to know what the good old boys are doing in the back. According to Taya and the other girls, there were houses set up in the county This all wasn't going down just in the judge's little office. Oh, no, we got to go get us a whole house and hang up some swings and have big old poker parties and parade around for our pleasure. Old men, backwoods Southern lawyers and such, hanging out together.
Who
No,
knows what they could have been discussing? Were they going to try something different? Were they going to do, younger maybe?
they were sitting there
who knows?
having a good old, no, they was sitting there having
Strategy.
some damn it. You know what they were doing? They were sitting there playing poker, having a shot of Kentucky bourbon, relishing in the fact that they addicted to drugs, in my opinion, and now are forcing these women into trafficking for their own pleasure. That's what I see happened here, in my opinion. The more I look at things on my independently, read what I can, review what I can, and then take account into what others are saying from the area, that is really where I've been with this for a long time. It feels like to me somebody was absolutely in on funneling this stuff into the county, purposefully getting people addicted, purposefully sending them to the ARC program, and we'll pick and choose a few of y'all to get clean and be my shiny little trophy for the next video when I come out and tell everybody what a great job we're doing here in Letcher County. Should we pull up the statistics on drug addiction in Letcher County alone? 60% above the nation anywhere else. That says a lot. And there's documentaries out there about the opioid addiction in the Appalachian Mountains, all through Kentucky and the pill mills. Unfortunately, those pill mills started here in Florida by two brothers. There's a whole documentary about it. The next place, Kentucky. I couldn't tell you why. I know why it happened in Florida with the two brothers and how all that was born, but then it was born across the country. And boy, it hit Kentucky wide open, just like it did Florida. We just had another bust here at the beginning of the year. A pharmacy. Yeah, it's
Well, they're
crazy.
getting federal grants and stuff for the programs, and then they're also coming
You are still, I don't know why you're
I'm
breaking
still?
up. Chat, let
It
me
could be my
ask chat.
headphones.
I don't know. Chat, is Butterfly breaking up for you guys? Am I breaking up for you guys? Let me know what's going on with the sound in chat. Okay, so we gotta holler for ourselves when no one wants to handle their shit.
I changed my settings, and I don't hear feedback anymore. So, well, now here I hear it again.
Were you hearing feedback?
On mine, then
And
it goes
now-
away, and it's back. Well, I don't know if it's me or you. So,
No, now you sound fine.
okay.
I don't think you're breaking up now. Just Butterfly was breaking up, Riley said. Okay, right now you sound okay. All right.
Let me know, y'all, because I can't tell. And if I need to, I'll change up my ear.
Oh, you just broke up again.
Okay, I'll switch out. I'm gonna go mute.
Okay. I don't use earbuds and stuff. I just have a headset. I know in Discord, voice earbuds are not a friend of that. I found that out back when I did Discords for NFT groups. We had a guy who, yeah, it was always a disaster. Like, dude, get the earbuds off. Get the convenient. I got a little headset. Okay. She breaks up, then it clears up. Yeah, so maybe when she'll get it, maybe when she comes back, it'll be good. All right. So there's a lot going on in the county, and we can only hope that they get. I'm not holding out hope they're going to get good elected officials. I just don't like it. It's more of the same good old boys coming in. And if we had new blood coming in, can we trust it? Is it so and so's nephew? You know what I'm saying? Son of so whatever. Oh, goodness gracious. It's like there's a lot. And when you get that small of a area, like my town was smaller than Letcher County. So I know about small town and close knit and all that. It can be very complicated, but it's like they don't need more of the same. And I think in Enton's report, they reference that authorities may be down there nosing around, knocking on doors. And they need to be. I'm telling you what, if I was like, won't say Kentucky State Police, like if I was FBI or the Fed, the feds and secret, I don't know, if I was somebody and I'm seeing this story unfolding, I think I'd be knocking on a door or two. The Justice Department, Karen Reed style. What's going on down here in this county? Y'all ever read the Constitution? All right, let me pull this up. Yeah, I've got a hotspot running, but you guys can see a video. Well, we're about to take a look at a video, so we'll see if it plays smoothly. If it doesn't, we'll just chit chat about stuff, and I'll bring up what I can. But I do have some videos for us to watch. But I am running on a hotspot since I moved. They are yet to come wire me up. This is an older home. It's never been wired for internet, ever. And the only internet I can get is through a local company. It's been, I call them grandfathered in. They've been here for decades. So like got the monopoly on the market. They got to come out here and do some shit. The guy called me yesterday. He's supposed to be coming. I tried to get other methods in here and nobody's, no. And it's messed up because I was in the country with Wi-Fi. I'm back to the city and I'm like, I can't get Wi-Fi. Are you kidding me? I didn't think it would be that hard. But if I'm not breaking up and she's breaking up, that tells me it's on her end. Okay, let's test this will work. Let me get the video we need. Okay, I got it set right when he starts his interview with her. Now, we've reviewed what he's done with Taya and the other things that Brian's done in the case. Like I said, we've had Taya on here as well. I think one of the mods dropped her link into the chat earlier for her channel. So this is a new person who came out and spoke with Brian as well. I'm going to let this start while I grab a fresh cup of coffee. And I'll mute out and let it play, guys.
Named Jamie Rayburn. She, again, lived in Letcher County. She was in and out of jail along with many others in her family. And she talks about their history with the judge and also with the sheriff.
How did you first meet the judge?
So my first encounter was when I was a juvenile, which it wasn't nothing out of the ordinary because I was put on like a juvenile probation and then I went to juvie. So then later on in life, when I become of age, I was on drugs and stuff and I ended up doing some time in jail. And in 2019, I went and decided to get clean and go through the ARC program. And he kind of personally reached out to me.
Laura went through the ARC program. See? I can't even get her link. And I'm not mad about that because I used to give that dude any kind of money in any capacity. Not even for a blue check. It's just that's just the way I roll. I stand my ground.
Those times, like helping me, telling me he was proud and stuff. But then an indication that kind of alarmed me to know that all the rumors I heard my whole life about him is he invited me to this seminar in March of 2021, a drug seminar while I was in rehab, basically to tell a little bit of like my story. And he was just trying to like, I guess, make me proud. I don't know, but he was just trying to share my story and stuff. But he was just very weird during that. Like before, he was just very inappropriate, to me.
Like what happened? Was he calling you? Yeah.
He just told me like if I ever needed anything, just to come to his chambers. Like if I ever got in trouble, that I could come and talk to him. But like us women know what that means. You know what I'm saying? And he just made me feel very uncomfortable. He just looked at me like a dog. But most of my story is my mom too. That's why.
Okay, so that's not the first time that I've heard that. These women knew what it meant when they were told, come see me. Okay, Butterfly, let me bring you back up and see if we can hear you. So they would know what that meant, all right, going into it. So, okay, hey, welcome back.
Thanks.
Okay, say a couple of things to us. Tell us about your morning so we can figure out how your sound is.
Does it sound better now? I moved my phone away from the computer to see if that is still breaking.
I don't know. The only way for me to tell is if you talk for a few minutes. So just make up something that you did. Pretend like you walked the dog and tell me about it.
Went to the grocery store this morning and I made it back live and went on the news.
You still broke up a little bit, but that's okay. Are you still wearing earbuds?
Yeah, because I don't have a headset.
Oh, so... okay. I think it's the earbuds, honestly.
Okay.
Somebody else that used to come on panel always had an issue with the earbuds. So I believe it's the earbuds. So, okay. So she's talking about, she knew what it meant when the judge says by the chambers, if you get into trouble and we can talk this out.
I was reaching out because my mom had a lot. She's no longer here anymore, but my mom had the sexual stuff with him and all that.
When you say she's not here, did she pass away or?
Yes, actually, she'd done a lot of jail time. She was actually a drug addict, but she actually passed away. She didn't even get to come home. The Letcher County jail didn't take care of her at all while she was sick. But like the beginning of like her drug, like she used to go have sex with a judge to get out of trouble. I remember she got my dad in some very big trouble. She went and had sex with the judge. When people are on drugs, they're so numb and people don't like going to jail and stuff. I'm sure it upset her.
All right, so that's not the first time we've heard the accusation about the judge. We've heard no direct accusations by any of these women that Mickey Steins was participating in those activities. They're all kind of calling him their hero a little bit. Mickey finally got tired of it. Mickey finally got tired of what? How much did Mickey know? And Mickey's raised up in Letcher County. Mickey's got some issues, apparently. It's coming out that Mickey may not have always been 100% mental health wise. No shade, just it is what it is. Then I wondered, grandfathering in everybody, was Mickey offered a job at, Mickey had other jobs prior to becoming the sheriff. He was once the bailiff for the judge before he became the sheriff. Before Ben Fields became the bailiff for the judge, who was the one charged with sex crimes. I think Mickey was put into a position on purpose.
From all the drugs and all the abuse and trauma that my mom went through, like she was not in the right state of mind at all. She was very traumatized from a lot of stuff that has been done to her. I do know that. My grandparents actually raised me, so like my mom was in and out of my life a lot too when I was younger.
How well known was it that, if you had sex with the judge, you could get out of things?
Very well known. Like every girl, like everybody knows that. Even with lawyers too. It's not just the judges. It's like a lot of people.
Not just the judges. It's the lawyers and stuff too. Remember, ex-brother-in-law to the judge was the county prosecutor. I'm not saying anything, but
This
sounds
makes you
like her.
wonder how,
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, it just makes you wonder how deep it goes.
It goes deep, in my opinion. Now, it sounds to me like her mother may have been one of the victims of the drug addiction problem in Letcher County, Kentucky. Instead of getting these girls true help and cleaning up the streets of their county, they chose to do other things instead, just to be dirty old men. Well, it's what it is. It's dirty old bastards playing with people's lives. Yeah, they got their toys, right? They got their toys. It's all that damn well matters. You know, Mama's at the house. She's in the kitchen cooking me up some beans and bacon and biscuits while I'm down here at this house we got down at the edge of town with our brothel situation, playing poker, slinging back the Kentucky bourbon. Good old boys, making their way the only way they know how. That's just a little bit more than the law will allow, sir. Ain't you heard Waylon Jennings sing about that shit? Damn.
That's done this for years.
Man, we got us a real life balls hog situation. Holy hell.
Oh,
You know, Hazard County ain't far away from Letcher.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Like it's
More than fucking moonshine happening.
been over decades that this stuff has really been going on. With my memo, yes, because like I know this sounds weird and stuff. I was needing to get an expungement, and my memo was really trying to put me up to go see Judge Mullins just to get me out of my expungement. But families know that stuff too.
See? And that is truly sad if you think about it. Baby, all you got to do is go down there and see the judge, and you won't have to go to jail. And I'm not throwing no shade at grandma. She's just trying to do in her mind what she thinks is best for her granddaughter. She don't want to see that baby in jail. Go do what you got to do, girl. What are we doing here in this county? And why is it so acceptable, right? That's the problem. That old lady just knows. Go on down there and see the judge, baby. What? Damn. If all this pans out, damn, Judge Mullins, how was your knock at the pearly gates, sir?
I don't know if all families do that with their kids, but I mean, like my mama was trying to get me just so I could, have a better life and stuff. Like families are aware of this stuff now. I don't know if they've ever, put them up to do stuff like that, but from my personal experience, like, yeah.
What would your mama say?
She'd just be like, "Oh, you just need to go see Kevin Mullins, and he'll fix it for you."
Right, and I want to. Allegedly, you're right. You're spot on. If you are in jail and you're withdrawing from whatever your vice might be, you're going to get sick. It is what it is. 9 times out of 10, the jail's not going to take care of you, but you know who is? Those girls in there with you. They're the ones that's going to have to take care of you and get you through that detox situation instead of getting these girls true medical help. No, instead, we'll go to court on Monday. We'll set you up with an ankle monitor that you can't afford. And then we'll go take your babies because you broke the law. and play hell giving them back. Because now you got to play ball with me to get the babies back. See how it works? Assholes. Not y'all, but them. I'm feeling some kind of way.
You just need to go down there and see him and stuff. Like
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I just said a whole ass cycle just continues and goes.
Exactly.
Like Rachel said.
It's like break the generational curse in this town. I think there's a couple trying. Them Appalachian girls, man. I see you. That energy's strong, mama. Very strong. And they're trying to get the evil out of the town.
She knew why I didn't want to go, and she knew that.
And they're the ones getting the bad rap. Them Appalachian witches. They know what's up. I don't fuck with that energy.
I could go, I really try to keep, like, I'm only 29. I've been in a lot, like, I've lived a hard life, and I really try to not do bad anymore, so that's kind of why I never, like, after rehab and all that, like, that's why I never really.
Riley, I hear you, and I get it. It's not good that that's even happened for that grandmother to say, go do that. But try to figure out, like, what would, in their situations, right? That was the common thing to do. Not making excuses, but if that's what we do, that's not right on the judge's part either. You're a sitting judge, allegedly willing to do this in your office. That's not cool under any circumstance. That's abusing the system. That is abusing defendants and victims. Or you're victimizing the defendants. That's what we're doing. Generational trauma. It needs to be burst that shit wide open.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I do feel you on that, though. I understand that feeling. Go ahead, Butterfly. Got a comment?
No, I just said I agree. They're just not strong enough to speak up because they know that nobody's going to listen, or they're just going to be dismissed because of their own situation. Just like you said earlier.
Yeah, I mean, it is wrong. It is wrong. All of it is. But I'm just saying there's no excuses for it, but that's the climate of where they lived. So I'm going to have to hold the judge and the attorneys, everybody that accusations been leveled at needs to be held accountable. And I get the judge isn't here to do that for himself. And I don't know if any of these people have proof. If they have text messages saved, I hope so. There's videos out there allegedly of the judge doing certain acts in chambers. That's in a court document. Haven't seen it yet, but it's in a court document. It's not word on the street kind of thing, right? So there's a lot of blame to go around here. So the grandma saying go do that to get that taken care of is kind of par for the course, I guess, for where they're at.
Went back because I don't really want to live like that no more,
With the drugs, like, so many people, it seems like in that area have had issues with drugs. Like, how do you describe it? Like, how do people get sucked in?
It's a very small area. There isn't nothing to do. You really have to have an education to even have any money there. The coal mines used to be like a lot of income for people back in the day. But I think people get sucked into it because there's nothing to do. It's very small. And, generational curses, families do it, moms and dads there do drugs with their kids there. It's just it's crazy. So I just think that it's just a lot of nothing to do there. Families just not knowing any better to do, just nothing to do there.
What do you mean by generational curses?
I just feel like, so I'm really big in my faith. I'm not going to say like I'm a Christian. I am a Christian, but I have a bigger relationship with God than whatever. So I just think that there's a lot of generational curses there. You know, a lot of my story, my mom and dad both done drugs with me.
She's very spiritual, and I get what she's talking about there. It's nothing to do with Christianity. With the generational stuff, that because it goes on for a long time. And so going to a small town where there's nothing to do. I lived in a smaller town than the one I just came from for a couple years, across the state line and over in Alabama, where my only view was of horses, you know, as far as the eye could see. And the only thing to do in town was go to the convenience store, the dollar store. I think there was 2 restaurants. Like that was it. Like I had a child who was about to become a teenager who wanted to get a job. I lived so far away from anything to start with. I was like, how in the world will I pull that off? I had a car, but it was like, what? That's a lot there and back every time he needed to go to work. Then it was like, well, where would he work? The few places in town, they're hiring within friends and family. Literally no opportunities. College, I get he was about to go into high school, but now I want to go start thinking about some college. None close by, right? So I had to make a decision. Then it's like, okay, do I go back closer to the city? Guess what? There's a lot available to a child in a city that may not be good or appropriate, but you got to weigh it. So I kind of compromised and went medium. But my kid's in a really good school system and all the things, but when it's that bad, when there's nothing to do and there's no jobs and there's no opportunities, and where I came from, that little town, there wasn't like a big drug problem and stuff like that. I'm sure there was, but nothing like this. But when this stuff started hitting their streets and there's literally nothing else to do but that, they just sat back and let that happen, or did they feed it to their people? That's where I was. You know what I'm saying? Don't you feel like if you're such a small town and it's starting to trickle in and you're like, we can get to the bottom of this, boys, real quick, like, let's go bust these houses cooking this shit up in the woods.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're getting, like I said, they're getting money to fund what they're doing. And like I typed in chat, like instead of using it towards prevention, education, they're using it for their financial satisfaction.
It's nothing about, well, anything, money's going to be a bonus in any situation. I think once you inserted the ARC program, money became you insert money, the root of all evil. But it started with some dirty old bastards just wanting to have a good time.
That too.
And it grew from there. So then you got to go back to now you got all these people getting addicted. And what did y'all do in the beginning when this first, I remember when it hit your streets, I watched the damn documentaries decades ago. So if everybody knows everybody, couldn't we have done a little sting operation and busted these damn meth houses left and right and no, something's amiss. Okay, a whole other show maybe.
They weren't very motherly or fatherly to me. So that's a lot of what happens back there. I just think that it just goes back, and I just think my generation is cursed a little bit. I know that sounds crazy, but that stuff is real.
So people actually do drugs with their parents?
Yes.
You did that?
Yes.
I guess it's hard to know right from wrong then if you're doing it with your,
Yeah, like, well, I grew up seeing my mom and dad do it my whole life, so I was like, well, if my mom and dad's doing that, why, it's...
I guess Brian's never experienced somebody talk about that. Right. I've heard in other cases, true crime cases, where that absolutely happens. These kids start young, and 9 times out of 10, they start doing it with their parents. The drinking, the smoking, the weed, whatever they're doing, right? And it's sad. It's sad to be a parent that far gone that you're going to let your child sit there and do it too.
Yeah. Grew up in the... bad part. I saw it all the time, which made me just want
Right.
not to do it that much
Right.
more. I mean, my parents
Right.
didn't, but it was around me everywhere. So
Right. And you think that some people do choose that path. They're like, that will never happen to me, and they just absolutely make sure that it doesn't. Then you got those that maybe not have the same opportunity or the same strength. I don't know what the
yeah,
different paths, what causes them, but you have to, for a minute, put yourself in their shoes and see that
hmm
it's a lot bigger than the conversations willing to be had about it. The root
right.
causes and the I didn't say that right, systematic problems that occur with the systems in place to help people. We couldn't talk about, and I don't want to get political about anything, but we can't talk about gun control because it's all a mental health issue. Well, where's the conversation about mental health? Right
hmm
now, we got sheriffs unaliving judges for some mental health disturbance, emotional disturbance. What? So we need to have those conversations about the root causes then, and have them logically without fighting about the stupid shit, right? I don't know. I'm just trying to see it from both points of view in this, what was really going on in this town. And like you said earlier, how far it apparently goes back far and deep,
Generation for a long
Yeah.
time.
And the fact that these women are adults and they didn't report it when it was happening and things of that nature, I don't know legally what could be done now. Of course, nothing can be done to the judge. He's not here. But any of the other people these accusations are being leveled against, like these attorneys and such, different players within the sheriff's department, will anything even come of it because of the circumstances? I don't know. But an investigation needs to be launched
Oh,
as to who
definitely.
knows what. Yeah. It's
And I'm
time
so
to
proud of you that the women that are coming forward have come forward, despite all the
Yeah,
odds against them.
exactly. It's time to clean it up because future generations deserve better. The town deserves better than to have their streets riddled with these things that are available. And then if they get in trouble eventually, then they don't need to be going into the chambers and doing favors to get out of the trouble. Where's the town addressing are the town leaders doubling down saying, oh, and all that's BS, none of that ever happened? Because you got a bailiff that admitted that it happened. So I don't see them talking about, maybe they're not talking about it because the sheriff shot the judge. And anything they come out and say publicly is going to get used in that trial. Do you see what I'm saying? So I guess I can see logically why they're not saying much, but I tell you what, if I was about to run for election in that town, I'd be coming out screaming, no, 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 we're getting to the bottom of things. I'm going to get the votes and I'm going to clean this shit up. Come tell me your stories. Let's get these old bastards out of here. Yeah, let's do that.
Okay for me to do it. My mama and papa did raise me right. Like, my mama and papa were very successful. They raised me with right morals, but it didn't fill the void of them being my mom and dad. So it made me very rebellious. And then I thought that, I started doing drugs when I was 16. That's when my grandmother let me start kind of having a relationship with my mom because she knew that it was hard on me all these years without her. And, I just started doing drugs with her because I thought, well, maybe she might love me now. I don't know. It's just weird.
What kind of drugs?
At first it started out as drinking and weed, and then pills like Xanaxes.
Weed, pills, and Xanaxes. That's the usual go-to for the. So you, Riley, with your comment there, y'all, when this happened, and they did downloads from the phones, because remember Mickey got his phone, right, and placed the phone call. What outside of that little phone call, what all was on the judge's phone? Text communications between him and other people, emails, phone call logs. How many of these women can be tied to the judge's phone? How many currently at the time it happened that we aren't hearing from, that were currently engaged in said activities? Where's those women at right now? Are they being, does the defense have a hold of them? I don't know. I would love to see what was on the judge's phone.
So is there even investigation aside from Mickey's trial about what's been going on?
Not publicly that we're aware of, but I believe it was in this.
Done, it's going to continue because there's no one there locally that in power that's willing to come up against them.
Well, no, nobody locally is going to do it. The Kentucky State Police isn't going to do it. It's going to take a larger entity to come in and do it. And I think it's in this piece that they allude to that happening. If I can't remember, I heard it. I think it was here is where I saw that, which leads me to believe the Justice Department is stepping in to do an investigation. But I don't know that. But they're not going to come out and tell us if they are. They never confirmed it. Karen Reed that, yeah, we're doing that, but we knew they was doing this and that, but they don't got to tell us jack shit. Kind of like the FBI. We're just here. Look away. We'll let you know if we find anything.
That is really what they do, because if it's not, nothing's going to happen.
Well, I'm just abuse Howard, those types of things. You got to look at the law of what could really happen. Yeah, we could all be pissed all day of these accusations and something needs to be done. But legally, what can be done? It needs to be done. And abuse of power is definitely a problem. You don't do that. You know, and other than finding Fields pleading guilty to the scandal with the ankle monitor program situation, there's more. Mickey just didn't get mad over Ben Fields pleading guilty to that shit. He was being sued under a civil suit over failure to train his deputies, because Fields is over there getting it on in the chambers. What's that got to do with him and the judge having a beef, right? That's not even like they're directly suing you. They were suing the department, right? So I don't know. I don't know what the feds, if they're there. I hope they are. I hope that something can come of it, that they're talking to the right witnesses and they're getting receipts.
Right.
We need the damn receipts up in the house.
Follow the money, as they always say.
Well, I don't know. Dads have to investigate anything unless there's direct accusations. There's nothing made against the Kentucky State Police at this point, like directly with this case. So I don't know when the feds decide to get involved and how that actually goes down. Who calls them in? Who called them in? Dizzy, are you still in here? How did the feds actually get involved in Karen Reed? Who called their asses in? Did they just, one of them watch this on social media and go, you know what? I'm feeling some type of way. Let me do an investigation here. Well, I know that they got in trouble, right? When Proctor and them began to get into trouble, that's, I think, what triggered. I don't really know, though. Was it I don't know what really triggered that investigation. So there has to be a trigger, right? So let's hope they find one if they're down there nosing around.
Pain pills. I got on Suboxone really bad. I did abuse that at first. And then by the time I was 18, meth started coming in the area. And that thank God I didn't get on no fentanyl or anything. I went to rehab before that stuff came there. But weed, it was alcohol, weed, pills, and then meth.
Did you
and
ever,
then all of it together.
did you ever know the sheriff? Sheriff Steins?
Yes, Mickey. Yes. Yeah. He was actually the bailiff for like 20 years in Kevin's court. He was a very good man.
What did you think when you heard that he shot?
He was a very good man. Do you know how many women I've heard say that? But I also get the feeling Mickey knew what was up. Mickey just wasn't a participant in what was up. But I think Mickey knew it was all coming to a head, and I think Mickey may have been set up to be the fall guy.
Right.
If Mickey don't talk and spill the beans, we're good. Mickey's having meltdowns now, days ahead of the shooting. People in town, the higher ups there, are worried about Mickey. They're talking about Mickey behind the scenes to one another about how he needs help. Really? Why? Mickey's like, damn, all of y'all coming at me at one time and I am not having it. Y'all ain't gonna stop it, I will. Was
Yeah,
that
they
what
had
was
their
happening? You know, no, and not Mickey should have spoke up a lot sooner. If Mickey wasn't comfortable going to anybody in Letcher County or anybody outside the county or in the Kentucky State Police.
the same as the
What was
women.
what was the
If
other
that's
avenue
okay.
he could have done? He could have chose privately going to the feds,
Right.
in my opinion. This is what's happening in my county and I can't. But then again, I'm not him. I don't know the pressure he was under and how easily he may have been an easy person to manipulate. I feel like a little bit. That's why he held the position he held, if you want the honest truth. And then you got Mickey saying upon arrest, I was fearing for my wife and my daughter. They're going to kidnap him. And everyone's like, what is he talking about? Who's going to kidnap his wife and daughter? Why would somebody do that? Is Mickey being threatened behind the scenes now? Mickey, you better keep that damn mouth shut. You love your wife and daughter. That's not a far stretch of the imagination, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And as the banner says, these are theories and opinions, plus little facts mixed in. I'm going to let this finish playing and mute out while I take a little break for a moment. I got to run to the restroom.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree, Semi Sharp. I agree.
Not the judge.
I thought he was losing his mind. I didn't know what was going on.
I'm joined now by Allison Weiner, the producer that I've been working with on this story in Kentucky, who's been back to Kentucky recently. First of all, Allison, I want to get your reaction to Jamie Rayburn. I just played the interview that I did with her. What I found to be, and I know you have some other new information that you're going to get to from people you've talked to, but I just wanted to quickly touch on, like when she talks about sort of this generational issue and doing drugs with her parents.
Uh-oh. Can y'all hear me? Thanks, Forrest. Salty, if you can hear me, stop.
Uh-oh, I just came back to the desk here.
Okay.
I see. What in the world happened? Did I just lose all my stuff? My swamp signal just came in loud and clear. Whoops. Okay. So, all right. Thank you, Rachel. Please hold. Technical difficulties. All right. Well, I'm glad y'all could hear her at least. At least we got a little bit of internet here. I don't know how long it was going to. I don't know. I was supposed to have like unlimited data or whatever on my phone, but I did get a little warning this morning that something about I've used a bunch of data. I'm like, okay, I figured that. I'm
It's probably a
hotspotting.
certain amount at high speed, and then after that, depending how high the usage is in
Yeah.
the area. Yeah.
Gonna try to
All
slow
that.
me down. Ain't nobody gonna break up my stride. Jesus. Don't they know us? Fuck. We can just sit here and talk instead if that's what how they want to be, which sucks
Right.
because I had more stuff. I wish we could get an interview with Brian Enton. Y'all see him around, hit him up. Tell tell him
I
to
should have gone
email
and
me.
looked for him when he was here. I
For
would have
for real,
known.
I'm gonna tell you what, if Brian Enton comes to town, it's like when Jim I'm in hurricane country, so when Jim Cantori comes to town, you either run for your life or you run to where he's at. That's just the way you are. That's Floridians. But if Brian Enton came to town here, I'm going. Like, dude, let me shadow you for the day. I got the inside scoop. I'm here.
Semi.
I don't want to be
Kentucky
on court
yeeted you.
TV. I don't want to be on your TV program. I'll come with my avatar.
Right.
and my
Exactly.
street name here, but that's about I ain't trying for all that fame. No.
Put a
No,
picture in front of
no.
your face, like with the stick and the big old round sign.
No, I want to use this one. That's me peeking out the blinds at your ass. Get
That's
away
what I
from
mean.
me.
Put it on a cardboard and a stick and put it in front of your face.
Right. Here I am. He's like, this next guest doesn't want to be identified. Your guest doesn't want to be identified. Well, no, y'all are freaks out there. Not y'all, but well, not people who are cool. But there's freaks out there who'll get all they need is an image and a name. They're like, oh, we don't like you today. You just said what? I liked you yesterday. Today I don't like you anymore. I'm gonna dox the shit out of you. And then I'm gonna say, like, you know what? I got family who doesn't do none of this right here. And okay, game on? I don't know. But I'm trying to avoid all that mess.
Right.
That's like energy draining vampires and stuff. It's like, go out of here with that mess. Like I said, we need to hold a stream where we all virtually burn sage at the same time and cleanse this entire space. Because it needs to be cleansed and bring us back into reality and focus on what we're here for. Well, I know what I'm here for. True
Pressure.
crime. Hey,
Precious.
Crescia. Hey, difficult research. Welcome in. We should be here for true crime if you're in the community. And you should be here because, like I've said 1,000 times here, like when I tell y'all be safe on the YouTube streets, I always say, without a victim, we wouldn't have a crime to discuss. And without a crime, we wouldn't have a defendant to discuss. Why people do what they do to each other. The psychology of it all. I watched a pretty good show on Hulu last night about that, and I didn't expect Dr. Catherine Ramsland to be all up in it. She wasn't all up in it. She was just in it here and there. It was about a guy who was ahead of her, who did all the things with psychology and prisoners. It was so interesting. I love that stuff. Why? Because if I can figure out what makes those people work and tick, maybe we can develop red flags that really work. Because we talk about red flags all the time. The red flags are everywhere. Well, do we know enough to notice them? And when we do, what do? Do we let society say, you're making too much of that, put it down? Look, society don't get to boss this girl around. They haven't had that control in 20 years. Actually, since the day I was 17. Since the day I was 17, and I'm far much older than that now. I was like, society, you're kind of weird. You really are. They were telling me I needed to do things that I knew in my gut I did not want to do. I didn't want no part of that wife, mother stuff. That's a lot of work. Have you seen how busy my mama is? How responsible she is for all these people?
Yeah.
I'm not so sure I wanted that. Don't regret the babies, but damn sure regret those 2 men. Life choices. Sometimes you live and you die with the choices you made. And we got to own those choices sometimes and learn these let's do a red flag stream. Let's do. You know who I should partner with? You know who I should partner with, Semi Sharp, to do the red flag stream? Is Shorty. That energy she brings when on those discussions, yeah, there's a lot to be said. It's not cool. to come into these cases and run amok and do all the things. We just went over the Brian Walsh case. We know what that man's accused of doing. We should be, focusing on her getting her justice as well. Them, he's over here, he's over here pleading guilty to 2 lesser counts. Okay, then what about the murder?
Right.
Well, I guess we're going to go to trial to say it was accident. Because you said you're guilty of he's guilty of misleading an investigation and guilty of conveying a dead body. So is he not guilty of murder too? We're gonna call it an accident at the end of the day. Can't wait to find out. Okay.
Right.
Then we went into the extradition of Stacy Wanderer, a monster who harmed a child. These children being harmed in America is ridiculous. So sick of seeing the ones that harm them by their own hands. Then you got a mother like Brandy who did nothing but try to raise her baby, and somebody else took it upon themselves to march into their life and change it forever. And then elude law enforcement for how long? Come out on the internet and talk mad shit willy-nilly? Go up against the baby's mama on a live stream. Sometimes we're here for the popcorn. Sometimes we're here for the what in the hell did I just see?
Exactly.
Right? There's a lot of that what the hell did I just see moments on these YouTube streets. And it's a little appalling sometimes. Especially when I see what happens with victims, and how they get so lost so quickly. And we don't need messy people behind the scenes making it messier when we got law enforcement and the law already giving us enough to work with. The crime is horrendous. There's people hurt. And so then you got to put yourself in their shoes for a moment. What if it was your family? All of a sudden you're thrust into this situation. You are like, what? It's overwhelming. What do you do? What do you say? Who do you talk to? What do you say when you right? What do you say when you do talk to them? As far as media, getting your loved one's story out there, it would have to be incredibly hard, especially if they are missing or unalived. Do you know what I mean? To be able to, I guess you would draw your strength for them to come out and tell their story, but then you're going to go home and you're going to break down. And people aren't seeing that part of it. There was a lot said about Stacy Chapin one time. She made a comment long time ago that 2 a.m. will always be a dark hour. Boy, the internet ran amok with that grieving mother making that comment. That meant that the killings happened at 2 a.m. That's why it's a dark hour. No. Let me tell you a secret. At 2 a.m., Stacy Chapin is sitting alone, and this is my guess. Sitting alone at 2 a.m., the husband's asleep, his needs are met. My children are asleep, their needs are met. They're all grieving. She stood up and was strong for everybody in the house and then some. Guess what she's doing at 2 a.m.?
Yep.
She's breaking down and having her moment. And it's always going to be a dark hour for the rest of her entire life. That's when Stacy Chapin falls apart. Not on camera. And there's something wrong with her for that. Come again with that bullshit. If we can make change, and then the people, oh my God, I don't even really want to get started on that. If you want to be somebody who points out somebody else's bullshit, mistakes, lies, whatever you want to call it, you probably shouldn't be doing the same thing yourself.
I agree.
Because what good are you doing? You're accusing certain people of going for clicks and views, but what are you doing today? So don't come at me with that either. right? People have this impression. If you're in true crime, you're here for clicks and views. It's all about the thumbnails. What? I don't belong in that world. If I came here for that, I wish somebody would shut me down for that, because that's BS. And you know how easy it would be to come out here and do that? When I started my channel and I decided, I was already deep in Idaho before the channel started. And I decided when I covered Idaho, I'm going to cover it the way I see it, based on court documents. I'd already investigated all that rumor mill shit for 2 freaking years, saw every alleged receipt you could possibly imagine. I've seen it all when it come to Idaho 4. So when I started the channel, I absolutely figured Bryan Kohberger is the guy. So I could have come out, though, with a whole different attitude, couldn't I? I could have come out here and rolled with that innocent train. Boy, could I. And this channel probably would have blew the hell up. But that's not cool to do. That's not how I felt.
That's what
Right.
I've always liked.
Hmm?
I said you have integrity, so you know in your heart that's not how things are.
I just
hate when people do that.
You know what? My mom comes to mind because I get everything I do from my mom. I watched politics with her growing up. She watched all kinds of true crime stuff growing up. She talked about all kinds of cases. The underdog. Don't go at the underdog, because she's coming out strong for that underdog. It was always like that. And the truth. And owning her own stuff. My mom, she was a wild card, right? Tiny but powerful. And had her way with the kids and the animals. It was crazy, and I'm the same way. But you just doing what's right across the board is not hard. Having a little bit of integrity, a little bit of morals, a little bit of just normalcy, and understanding that that's right or wrong. The difference between right and wrong shouldn't be that hard. It just shouldn't.
Yep.
So when you purposely come out to mislead, for gain, you know why you're doing it. So there's a lot of that out there. Kresha says, I only learned about the Chapin's involvement in Arkham Labs because of my digging into Lauren's associations. Web Sleuth was purchased. Yeah, I heard about all that. But Othram buying that Web Sleuth website, I don't know when all that I saw a lot about all that. I don't know when that took place and how that will look going forward for Othram. And Stacy's involvement with Othram, there's a whole interview of her with the middleman's wife, talking about their partnership and how that came about. So I've seen all of that as well. I'm not mad about their partnership. I don't understand why people have a problem with it, honestly. And people started throwing shade at Othram the minute they found out that Sheath DNA went there. And people knew very little about them. I know tons of cold cases are being solved with Othram Labs, but I don't know what their involvement is with the Web Sleuth website. You know, I know there's something, that money, is it like follow the money train thingy? Ew. Please don't, right? We don't like that shit.
No, I think if we had more people, if you haven't been in that situation where you lost a child or a loved one in a horrendous way, that you try and imagine yourself being in those shoes, and how the same way as like you want to treat people how you want to.
Hang on, you were breaking up real bad. I don't even know if we heard what you said. Right, semi-sharp. What you don't like is how certain cases cause division rather than a civil debate. Yeah, it's full-on war. It's like draw the line and pick a side. Pick a side? We barely know anything, right? Can we just have a discussion and a debate about what we're being presented means? And then you take a look at this copyright strike business that's been going on. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purpose such as criticism, comments, news, reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might be otherwise be infringing. Now, turns out through my research and difficult research, I emailed you, girl, check it. Guess who takes copyright infringement extremely seriously? To the point they have a team of attorneys on it. The LDS. They teach about it, talk about it, preach about it, even. Little Miss Queen over there, LDS or some shit, over there striking everybody. Strike for you, like she's some kind of firecracker. Thumbs down lately. Oh, no, so not here. Other places that I've ventured off to for the fun of it might have got a thumbs down because I don't use troll accounts. If I need to leave a comment, I will, and everybody's going to see it was me. I ain't scared. Jesus Christ. Nobody got time for all that. So it's such a bigger conversation still for me as far as what really went on in that whole fiasco with HTC. I'm not so much about that one guy, because that one guy's no count. One guy was just dropping names and trying to clout chase and all the things. Whatever. Stay the fuck in Indiana. And continue to dance in the dark. We're good. Please. So go back to the bigger problem. Over here you got hidden true crime with not a tons of accountability because they're not technically mainstream. You got another podcast channel that I will just call MS over here doing the same thing, claiming to be media, striking people for using their content or even talking about it. How dare you grab our work product? We have style. Haven't you heard that Dr. John guy says we have style? If you look up the true definition of what he meant behind that, oh boy, their work is above all else. Their body of work is kind of like Brad Pitt's body of work. So fucking good, you got to ignore their personal missteps and problems because that body of work's so amazing. Those two platforms thought they were in that realm, and the rest of us were way down yonder at the bottom somewhere. Excuse me, no. I don't choose to play down there in them YouTube streets that are all lumpy and bumpy and potholes everywhere. It's not fucking comfortable. It's a bumpy ass ride. Krisha, I do want to have a conversation with you. And I would love to have you over here on the channel to have a conversation. Yeah, the copyright laws, Krisha, the teachings, this goes back, and I've been watching a recent documentary on Peacock, well, it's Bravo. So Peacock, Bravo, whichever you have. I have Peacock. So I don't know if any of you know who Heather Gay is. Heather Gay is one of the reality stars on The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. She's written a book on the Mormon church, and she has left the Mormon church and all the things. And she take away the housewives thing for a moment. Her diving into the Utah and Salt Lake City and the Mormonism of it all. And it's insane. So she has a new documentary just released, and I've watched, I think, 3 episodes so far, and I've taken notes. Boy, did I take notes. Because what these people are taught all of their lives, kind of like the grandma over there in Letcher County, Kentucky. Baby, just go down to the courthouse and meet the judge. Over here in Utah, we got what going on? y'all, they run into the whole there. So their teachings are like strong, right? And now we're supposed to trust these ex-Mormons that their teachings aren't creeping into their today life. Those videos you put out, I'm not so sure about that. I feel like that comes from your teachings that you can't seem to get away from. And I just want to explore that a little more, for sure. Let me look at my notes here, guys, and see what we did go over. Now, I wanted to play you a piece with Nancy Grace that was Steve Fisher. It was from a couple weeks ago, talking about the Celeste Rivas case, where he talks about what they found inside that home. Heather is related to one of the Demetrius apostles in the church who invested into the founding of Ballard's NPO, Operation Underground Railroad. Oh, okay. saltysleuth@gmail.com, Kresha. saltysleuth@gmail.com. Because I did email you. I just don't know if that you didn't respond. So I don't know if you even got it. I sent Andy's last one. She didn't even get. So making sure. It'll come from Salty Sleuth. So we need to get together. Yeah. Yes, they are suing her. A little extra there. Right. It's like they have a whole ass I don't know where I stuck it. I have it. I think I know where I put it. I have this little spot that I go drop articles and different things, but I have this whole thing from an LDS site about the copyright and what members should do about copyright infringement. They don't even want us to come on here and use any of their footage, right? If I was to come on here and to present you a video I found that the LDS published, they're going to strike me. Sound familiar? Strike Queen over there. What? Is that a teaching? Oh, no, they can't use your work. They need a strike, ma'am. Okay. It's crazy. So earlier, y'all heard me speaking about the little Stefan Stearns and get a little sideways about how the state of Florida didn't implement the death penalty and take it all the way, bring it on home. Well, they busted a couple of things here called a Operation Home for the Holidays. Like 122 kids discovered and found through investigations and recovered. And I'm like, 122 all at the same time in the same location. Where'd they all come from? I have questions. They're random across the state, a couple of different cities. I think the bulk of them was in Tampa. So a couple of them were reported runaways, now returned to their families. I'm like, are missing, not runaways, I'm sorry. They were like two brothers. I'll see if I can get this piece to play. So I guess they went missing one day. I got to look into that a little bit more. And then they were discovered. And your mind tries to go around how that happens, right? What's really going on here? A couple of the kids were found out of the country. And I think at least one was overseas. So first of all, who's getting these kids? And who the hell's buying our children? We're going to come out with a press conference and we're going to pat ourselves on the back for busting yet another trafficking ring and get all these kids to safety. What are we going to do now? That's where I'm at with it. What are we going to do now? Who the hell was buying the children? Kind of like Stefan Stearns. If somebody was buying what he was selling, I need to know. If he had any ties to Santa Claus over there in St. Cloud, I need to know. But they called in Homeland Security, so I guess it was all for his personal pleasure. Jesus. Right, difficult. I get you. The money that's backing it, because CrimeCon changed so much right over the years, and we know what it is now. I was saying Homeland Security didn't get involved in the Stephon Stearns case, which meant there was no exchanging videos for me, because we did not see a Homeland of Security investigation. We saw Homeland Security investigate the guy we refer to as Santa of St. Cloud. St. Cloud, Florida is right outside of Kissimmee, where Stearns was at. Right around the same time, they both got busted. Well, it turns out Santa Claus was being investigated under Homeland Security, him and his son both. While the feds were on the way to bust them, his son unalived himself, who was a grown man. So when I looked on the map and saw where Santa lived in St. Cloud, it was right near the location where Stearns dropped Maddie's body, which had me concerned. Why is he going that direction? Did he know that direction? Turns out there was never a connection. It was looked into by the state of Florida to see if the two of them knew each other or had. Ballard was a Homeland Security agent who worked the southern border. Oh, damn. One of them southern border Homeland Security agents. No, I was speaking about Homeland Security investigating child CSAM, federal CSAM charges. And we never saw that happen in Stearns' case, so there was never any proof him and Jen were selling photos and videos. Yeah, girl, I'm always willing to go that angle nobody else is, because I got better things to talk about than some damn eyebrows and how upsetting those really are. What's that got to do with it? Whatever. She wants to do all that. Fuck. I don't care. Well, we've been at this for a little bit. Let me see if this one thing will play. And then really that's about we were going to do today is get these updates. I really wanted to play the piece with the Celeste Rebaz case, because that's really a case that's bothersome, because why hasn't there been an arrest yet, right? We know what happened. Well, we don't know what happened. We know a child was found in a frunk of a car, and she wasn't alive. So somebody put her there, unless she crawled in, shut the trunk, and suffocated. They haven't come out and said that.
In a bag?
Huh? Yeah, when in
Was
bags.
Yeah.
Yeah, she bagged herself up and jumped in, right, and shut the trunk, and nothing to see here thing. So why haven't we seen a charge yet? You would think, well, surely we'll see something. What if they don't know how she got unalived and how she actually got the trunk? But according to Steve Fisher, there's video that sees this vehicle moving from location to location. They can see people getting in the vehicle. So cops have to know who these people are and have questioned them, I'm sure, God, I hope so, about what y'all were doing with this car, right? And why are you coming in and out? Why are you moving it? Why did you leave it out there? But I don't know that if they have footage of, you would think if they have that, they would see somebody placing bags in the front. Okay, but even if you do have that, what happened to the person in the bags that you're placing in the front? Was it accidental, or was it something more? And what can they prove? That's where we're at, right? What can they prove? I don't know. Yeah, she's all wrapped up, Riley, and they're like, and still nothing. So I think with what some of the experts that have weighed in on the case have said the same thing. Cause of death is huge. They have not even confirmed the dismemberment part, right? And if you listen to Joseph Scott Morgan and a few others talk about that part of it, and that did that really occur, there would be evidence of that within the bones body. So they haven't come out and confirmed that rumor, right? So we don't know what was really going on in the trunk. Yeah, Ballard has been a sketchy guy for a long time. there's been, like I said, what is that one documentary that I've seen? I've seen many documentaries over the years, Crash, to do with the LDS and the different aspects, and even you take into account some of the things like what happened in Waco, Texas. You know, I I personally like would sit at home and deep dive that type of stuff, trying to get an understanding on what happens with these people. The Jim Jones of it all. I was a young girl when that happened. Don't drink the Kool-Aid. What? You know, what makes people fall into a cult? What is a cult? What's the definition? What does it look like? Does it have to be sinister? No, it does not. Can it be a few guys, monk-looking guys walking around the park drumming a little drum and people are just following them around, hippie types? Or is it the people in the woods holding sacrifices? Or is it the people in the church at the altar? It's a broad conversation, guys. Maybe it should be a members only. Because it's really one that I could go deep with. So, I don't know. All right, I don't know if this is going to play. Let me pull something up and see. Let's see what we got here. Okay, it looks like it's trying to work. And I didn't show you a part of that Brian Walsh hearing. But anyway, like I said, that guy did plead guilty to the 2 lesser charges. And as it went on, as far as I saw the last update this morning, jury selection was getting underway. Probably won't be a long trial. So I'll get an update at the end of the day on what happened there, and tomorrow we'll get an update on what's going on with that guy. Okay, now I have a 2-part little thing. They are not very long, and they are a look into this investigation. The press conference, I think, was like 30 minutes long, and it was like one of those, you know, just all the people involved in the investigation and how great everybody did, all the stuff. I'd rather look at the actual investigation, because I'm up here seeing a bunch of politics happening at the moment instead of what are we fucking going to do about it. Oh, goodness. Okay. So let's see if we can get this to play. It's like a 5-minute piece, guys. And thanks for being here, everybody. And hit the like button. I appreciate it, y'all coming in. I'm sorry, I was reading a comment, guys. Yes, I agree. Difficult research. There's a whole avenue with those two and what they were really doing that I would love to have a talk with you about, because not a lot of folks can understand what I'm talking about. So if that makes sense right at the moment, but I would love to have a broader conversation with you about it. So like I said, I gave you my email again, saltysleuth@gmail.com. Reach out to me, girl, and maybe we can link up soon. I would love to do that. Okay, so this is a piece. This has happened with the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, and shout out to them, because this needs to happen, right? We need to do these investigations and find these kids and shut down these rings. Good God, what are you doing to our babies? Leave them alone. There's enough out there that could hurt them. Need them snatched off the street corner, just walking to the damn school bus. To the point where you no longer get to walk to the school bus and with that peace of mind, your baby's fine. You got to go out to the corner, stand there and watch. Take them yourself. That's where a lot of us ended up sitting. I had 3 that rode the school bus every day, but I had 1 15 years later after them, you know, that I took to school. Not because I thought something was going to happen on the bus. I lived right there, but it was still, it was better, because things were starting to happen that concerned me within the schools and on these buses. A lot of stuff. So our kids are exposed to a lot already. To know there's predators out there just waiting, looking for the perfect opportunity. Some will prey on those that are vulnerable, some will prey on that opportunity. Nobody else is around. I will snatch this one and be gone. Lordy. Okay, so here we go. And this recently happened, this investigation. Apparently they, oh goodness, did not shut it down during the government shutdown. I guess that was going to be a thing, but they gave them the go ahead to continue their investigation. Well, I guess thank God, because they were in the middle of it. It's not going to let me play it or do anything. So we're not going to be able to look at it. We'll do that tomorrow. Maybe I may be out of a good internet juice. maybe Crusher, you're going to have to set that live up, girlfriend. Let me come over there on your live and talk, because I don't think mine's going to cut it. I may be out of internet juice. We'll have to wait and see. I don't know.
If only
Maybe
I could say something.
Yeah, I don't know. If we can just sit here and talk sometimes, I guess, whatever. I'll take notes and relay y'all the notes and have a conversation on what I said. Y'all know how we do. I love hearing from you guys in the chat and getting you guys weighing in. You know that. I always say be a part of the conversation, because that's what we're here for, is to have conversations about these topics and how we all bring a different aspect to the table, because we all have different life experiences to draw from. So hearing each other out should be a thing, and not just yeah, I'm going to come at you. I don't like you today. You know, everybody's over there, oh, Salty, we love you, tearing down Joe's Mo. Like, okay, well, you may not love me once you come to my channel and hear my actual content. You might not agree with me on some things I've said, or the content, or how I cover the case. So I knew that when people were giving me the accolades in the chats. I'm like laughing, going, yeah, okay. But thank you for anybody who is new and chose to stick around. I appreciate you taking the time to still be here and to check out the content, and be a part of the community, because that's what it's all about. When I came here, I worked for a long time in another space, creating, developing, and working with communities, managing social media communities on Discord for NFT communities, and their social media accounts on Twitter. I held multiple Twitter spaces per week. I hosted them, and I drew together other talent to co-host other shows and acted as a producer. And I thought, you know what? I've true crime my entire life. I have deep dove all these cases they're talking about at home on my own. So I came to YouTube with it. And boy, it's been an eye-opening experience, right? Eye-opening, to say the least. I didn't realize people were here for different reasons than what they should have been here for. And I had to learn to accept it to some degree. And I learned how to recognize some signs in all the cases: Idaho, Delphi, Vallow, you name it. Letcher County. You have to learn where you sit with it for a while, about where you're getting your information, and then make up your own mind about what you feel and think, right? That's why I like to go with it. And then you get somewhere. But I do appreciate everybody coming in. Thank you, Simi Sharp. She says, I did love how you told off, him. It was seriously epic, but I knew you before that. Yes, you did know me before that. So those of you who did know me before that completely understood that whole thing, and completely understood that it just wasn't some girl drama.
Yeah, that was great. Thank you for letting me do that too, because it really helped to get that off my chest.
People loved it. You have some fans, ma'am, because people loved it. You needed to get it off you. You're right, because he didn't realize you felt that way. I told him I really hadn't talked to my mods yet, dude. They probably got their own thoughts behind this. They probably are feeling some kind of way. And I kind of knew you did. You were having the same questions I was having. We didn't really have it. You and I didn't even really talk about it. But so I was like, fine. He's like, Butterfly's got questions. You damn right, girl's got questions. You know why? Yeah, you know why she's got questions? Because she and I encouraged you from day one. She encouraged you behind the scenes to make sure you took fucking snacks on your little boots on the ground excursions. Because you're going to pass out on that damn court bench because it's so uncomfortable.
Yep.
But let me go get a press pass off of a website so I can sit with the big dogs. Because sitting in the back ain't no fun. Little old nobody YouTuber back in the back.
It's just aggravating that he didn't get that it was bigger than him.
Bigger than him.
It wasn't
Bigger than
about him.
Bigger than your damn picture in a fucking bar.
Exactly.
Jesus Christ. Bigger than your stupid
But
ass picture.
Boots on the ground shit.
And so the funny part is the minute you read that affidavit and it's the measurement mansplaining shit kicks in, you automatically knew who it was if you knew
Yep.
you knew.
Yep. Figured that out. Didn't take long.
Took me back to Delphi for a minute and the damn bridge ties and how fucking tall bridge guy was. Like, dude, that shit's been hashed out 3 years before you come to the case. What you've been doing. And then you're going to cover a case full on, build your channel on that case and not even know the facts. So I pulled back and decided I'm not going to cover that case to the extent I covered the trials. But as far as the extra content surrounding it, have at it. Because
No,
I promise you, I promise you, if I come do it, it's going to be done better, more informative, with the actual facts. And I'm not going to watch a video taped interview of a deceased teenage girl and then say, I wonder if she'll testify at trial.
Oh boy.
What did you just say? Okay, enough of that because I'm going to get really fucking heated. And I don't want to do that because that don't steal my joy. It ain't stealing my joy nor my energy. I'll save it for a better discussion. Oh, goodness. I'm gonna run out of internet talking about it. Man.
You're gonna run out of stage. What the hell?
Oh my gosh. I'm going to be bored the rest of the day. Actually, I won't be. If allegedly is alive later, I'll either be in her chat or I'll check her on the replay and I'll see what's lurking on them streets tonight. Occasionally, well, honestly, I haven't listened to anybody lately except for Kresha and allegedly. I'm not real, and Brian Enton, of course. Yeah. So I look for stuff to look. Normally at night, I'm like, I got to go find me a good documentary on some serial killers to watch. Let me go look at that. I've been watching the Hulu thing on the Murdaugh case, and then the Heather Gay series that's out on Peacock is now, and then there was something else I was watching too. I gotta go back and look at my list of stuff because I rarely watch TV, but when I do, I like to have a couple episodes and I can just binge watch it.
Yeah, I think my watch list will never end. It will always just. I'll never catch up. Put it that way.
Okay, let's see. Just being honest here. Okay, difficult research. Kresha, we need to talk. We really got to talk because I have, yeah. Okay, hold on one second. I got a cough. Last night I felt like I was coming down with something. All right. Okay. All right. Yes, Kresha, we need to talk about that because I have a lot of questions surrounding certain things. Let's just say that within that state, within those counties, and within, yeah, just got lots to say and ask. So let's catch up on that. Carrie Brooke, I've been catching up on Delphi, and it's a lot. It is. We went over a little bit here the other day. We did review, was it clicks? I got my note here, even where we stopped at. Page 80 or 80, was it 80 or 85? I got a note. So we were looking over the, was it clicks deposition. There is a lot going on in the Delphi case, so much to unpack. And I think Criminality and Sleuthy are doing a pretty good job. I haven't got to review a lot of what they're doing lately. Honestly, I have not went over there and took a look. But I know they're doing some good coverage over there of it. And, of course, my ex-peeps do a fantastic job of sharing what's being unpacked over there. And we really got to do a bigger case on that, or a bigger show on that as well. You say it leaves a pit in your stomach no matter which way you see it. Yes, it does. It always has. Because man, because right, there's a lot with that case, and for I also feel like there's a big confusion about some things, not so much to do directly with the Delphi case and the investigation and all those things, but what happened in Delphi, allegedly in those woods, like the alternate theory situation. Had to light my cigarette. Y'all didn't want to hear that lighter strike. Well, what's it matter if I told you what I did? What the fuck? Crusha, I don't make any damn sense either, girlfriend. So it's so refreshing when I watch you. Like it's a hot mess express. You deal with it or whatever.
We're all learning.
We ain't polished and perfect. That's not my. Oh God, no. Okay, so, sorry, I went back to reading comments for a moment. Delphi's a lot, Rachel says. So what happened in Delphi in the woods, allegedly, as an alternate theory, that was investigated by local authorities and the FBI and the state authorities. So it's not made up rumors on the internet. It came from their own investigation. That type of what went on compared to what Lori and Chad were doing, kind of the same, but not. Okay. What pagans do, kind of the same, but not. And I can explain it a lot more when I have a lot more time. But it kind of the same, but not, right? There's a different level of what was happening. And as to why it was happening. There's your biggest takeaway as to why these ceremonies, these sacrifices, whatever you want to call them, what those were and why are very, very different. And I think, exploring that, the players that are involved. You look at Lori and Chad and the religious aspect. You look at the alternate suspects in Delphi and their absolute ties to white supremacy. They're on the Southern Poverty Law Center's watchdog list. Not made up. You can go look right now. So very different situations, right? So worth mentioning that.
A whole other rabbit hole.
No, we are not polished and perfect, ma'am. No, ma'am. We are just. That's why I love you and your mom and Larry, as real as they come. And I literally fell in love with your parents a long, 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 long time ago because they really seemed so genuine and reminded me a lot of people in my family, right? I'm in Northwest Florida. I'm down here on the Alabama line. I'm not too far from Mississippi, Louisiana, right? So I'm down here on that end. That other end down there, I don't know what goes on down there. Central and South. It's a whole different area. I don't know. I say that with love for the rest of my state, I guess. Okay. Yeah, they've been reading. The trial transcripts finally came, and then finally, with the appellate case happening in Delphi, they, finally asked the court for a lot of discovery, and a lot of that discovery is now being handed over. So we all have finally get access to some of this discovery, because most of we didn't get a camera in the courtroom in Delphi. We got end of the day updates from a few good true crime YouTube defense attorneys that were there. And I'm not talking about Lauren. Barely watched Delphi stuff. Because, ma'am, you weren't in tune to that case long before the trial like these other people were. So I chose to go listen to them. So that's how that works for me. So I didn't pay her much attention. I saw her little lunchtime live updates or whatever. Simi, I thought that I saw a comment from you the other day about Louisiana, and I didn't realize you were that close. Technically, y'all aren't that far from me. But I don't know, man. There's just so much to unpack with this stuff, with the Delphi even. So we need to get, and I do have the links to all of the documents and the different exhibits and Between unpacking that stuff and then looking at the Koberger stuff and trying to pick what's important to come out here and talk about that's worth, as far as Koberger goes, though some of them damn documents aren't even worth talking about, right? It's like, whatever. Give me good documents to come out here and talk about. But there is a lot coming down in the Delphi case, and we do need to start unpacking some of that. And those of you following Idaho 4, yes, I'm aware there are a lot of videos out there. There's at least 3 or 4 of friends of the victims being interviewed. I've kind of seen bits and pieces, but at this point, they're not going to tell me anything that I don't know. I'm waiting on the goods on Bryan Kohberger to come. I know what happened that night. I know what the survivors did and didn't do. I know what all the friends did and didn't do. It was a hot fucking mess, and I get it. But so stop handing the people all the goods on the friends of the victims so they won't go after them and give us the goods on Bryan Kohberger, the guy sitting in prison who said, I did it. Who was not doped up on Halidol, by the way, by some freaky-ass doctor who ran amok in Facebook groups. Had to throw that in there. Always do. All right, guys, I'm going to go for the day and chill for a while and see what the rest of my afternoon holds. I do got a thing to do at 3 o'clock, but I don't even require me leaving the house.
I did that this morning. I'm done.
Right? Got a 3 o'clock appointment. I can just sit here at my desk and get her done. So I'm going to do that and chill. And then I don't know when I'll be back. Maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day, maybe tomorrow night. I'll see how things go. I'll test out my connection and we'll see how it goes. Y'all be careful on those YouTube streets. Butterfly, thanks for coming up and chilling with me today.
Thank you for having me. My bad earbuds and all. Thank
good.
everyone for putting up with them.
Yeah, and we'll keep an eye on those Stacy Wanderer dates coming up. What, the 15th and 16th of December. The Walsh trial should be, I don't know how long his jury selection will go, maybe just a day or two. I can't imagine it going more than a couple days. It may not take long. Sometimes it takes 3 days, like Delphi, and sometimes it takes hours, like Lori Vallow. What, did they see the jury just a couple of hours over there in that case in her Arizona trials? Ridiculous. And then we almost had a juror mishap. Oh, lordy. Oh, and look who the person who highlighted that was. Oh, God. Oh. I was so proud of it, too. Look what I just highlighted. I'm like, dude, did you ever stop and think if a mistrial occurs because of that, if it pans out, who highlighted it? Okay. I don't know. Okay. Yes, go ahead and email me, girl. Please do. And thanks for coming in and hanging out with us, Kresha. We appreciate it. And much love to you and your family. Y'all deserve it. Everybody, thank you for coming in and being here and part of the show and chiming in on the conversation. Y'all know we love that. And like I said, if you don't mind, if you haven't hit the like button yet, please do. It helps get the content out there. Not me and not all the things that we need the content so the conversations can continue. So
appreciate you all. And thank you, Kresha, for gracing us with your presence today. We appreciate it.
Exactly. Yes, ma'am. Butterfly, thank you. I'll chat with you later.
Okay. Thanks.
You're welcome. All right, guys. I do appreciate you being here, like I said, and we'll get caught up in another day or two. I'll let you know how things go. Kresha's going to email me. We'll get together, and maybe we can get a show planned, and I can go over there and join her so we can have a smooth run at it all. Because there's probably going to be things that need to be shared on the screen, and she can get that done way better than I can at the moment. So, oh, okay. I'm reading that last comment. In the heel of the boot. I'm in the Florida Panhandle. The Gulf Coast. Used to be known as the Gulf of Mexico, but I think they changed it now. So, I heard tell they changed the name of my Gulf. I still call it the Gulf. It's just what it is. It's our Gulf, actually, isn't it? Florida. Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, and Texas. We all share that big, beautiful Gulf. They tried to muck it all up with that big oil. Yeah. Okay. With all that said, y'all go have a good day. Be careful on those YouTube streets. Go touch some grass. I seen a comment about touching some grass. I haven't done that lately because I have moved and I don't have my peaceful country backyard anymore. And I have to say I'm super missing it right now. To be able to walk out to my pole barn and sit at my little table and listen to the birds sing and the chickens next door and watching the dog do her thing in the yard, I miss it. Anyway, I do have a little screened-in porch. I got to go make it my own, don't I? I haven't done that yet. Me neither, Crescia. I still say Gulf of Mexico, and I always will. When I stand there with my, because I am lucky enough to have clear quartz crystal deposited on my beach that washed down from those Appalachian mountains. And when I stand there getting grounded barefoot on that clear quartz crystal, I'm looking at the Gulf of Mexico and watching some dolphins frolic, maybe, not no damn sharks. That's a once in a while thing. Once in a while thing. All right. Y'all go have a good one. Wait, Carrie, it's cold outside. I forgot some of y'all do have that cold weather. Bundle up out there if you're in that cold weather situation. All right, guys, I'm going to go rest my throat because I do feel like I'm coming down with something, and I've said enough. So y'all go have a good one. Stay safe out there.
Thank you all for watching this here video. Please like and subscribe and follow. Much love from Little Yas to each